Good evening and welcome everyone to the ECS playoffs. Two strangers to your stream tonight. It's me, Kangaroo Kenny, and I'm joined by CCV. I've had a blast with them before. It's been a long time since I've been able to work with them, but we're finally joined back together.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, our last broadcast together was possibly the start of the previous season, the start of the spring season, if I'm not wrong. Or even before that. Oh, geez. It was the summer season. I have no clue. Yeah, it has been a while, Kangaroo. It has surely been a while, but it's good to be back, and it's good to be back with such a blast. Right now, a high stakes game between Machine Soldiers and Kjell's Disciples. These teams, all throughout the group stages, they've had strenuous journeys. However, time and time again, they've ended up on top. For the side of Machine Soldiers, yeah, they've only suffered one loss, 8 victories. For the side of Kjell's Disciples as well, finishing at the top of the open division, 8 wins, only one loss. It's fair to say, and I don't think I'm underestimating it at all when I say these are the best of the bunch. They have qualified into the playoffs from contenders in open division for a reason. Now they just have to prove themselves in the test of time against each other and try and secure a spot in the final playoffs.
Yeah, certainly so. So these two teams, it is going to be an absolute brawl, and we're going to see where we are heading in the veto system. So we'll bring that up now, and it will be Cafe Coastline, the first two maps to be banned away. Our first map picked by Kjell's Disciples is Villa, and then, of course, the community favourite. We love to see a chalet pick from MSC. I'm very stoked about that. Consulate taken off the board, as well as Clubhouse leaving us with, well, it wouldn't be a best of three without Oregon, would it?
Yeah, I think, I think a philosopher once said life is just full of compromises, and we have to make a compromise right here. We get to see Chalet, but maybe at the same time we'll have to see Oregon again. We'll have to deal with that map. But again, all jokes aside, Kenny, the first map is where my interest has been piqued. Villa, both of these teams quite recently they've played on this map. We'll be starting very soon here as well. So the thing is, when the previous game that these two teams played, in the playoffs bracket, Kjell's Disciples they played it against Carnivora. It went into the decider map, and guess what? It was Villa. Kjell's Disciples, they ended up winning 7-4. The same goes for MSC as well. They played it against Proximity Gaming, the decider map. Guess what? Villa, and then it went to a 7-5 victory in favor of MSC, making them, the team that advanced forward into the brackets. So for that reason, we are already starting off on a map where both of these teams have found success in a similar manner with similar scores against, almost similarly matched teams as well. So it's going to be an all-out chaotic affair, and I love to see it. Everyone loves to see it, and that is what excites me. The team that wins Villa right here most likely will end up winning the entire best of three. Irrespective of which team chose the map, irrespective of which team will be choosing the decider and their second map, etc., etc. Villa, I think, even though it's our first map, we'll be initiating this best of three here, is going to decide things for everyone.
Yeah, so we are going to head on into the first match and map of the, well, there's only one match this evening, but first map of the evening, and it will be Villa. So, starting off on defense, it will be MSE, and operator ban wise, well, what do we think in CCV?
Look, at the end of the day, most likely it's certainly going to be a Thatcher Mira ban. Right now, it's going to be MSC banning. They are starting off on defense, and yep, there it is. My man Thatcher has been banned. No surprises to it. I think it's going to rely more on the defensive bans and which defending operators shall be taken off. Are we going to see Mira being taken out, or are we going to see defenders who are usually related to the aspect of hard breaching? Perhaps some anti-breachers such as Bandit, Cade, or even Mute. In terms of the final attacker ban, maybe a hard breacher. Yeah, it's going to be Ace. Look, this man suffered a nerf. His smokes are gone. Thermite already is seeing a resurgence in his pick rate. Ace is down bad, and with the fact that he's banned right now, well, we won't get to see him at all. This is where I'm still excited. Kjell's Disciples, they are starting out on attack. They have banned Ace, they have Thatcher taken off the board as well. I am expecting a Bandit or a Kate, to be honest, something along the... Oh no, okay. So they themselves have chosen to take off Mira. That's pretty interesting. It's now down to MSC, and what exactly do they think should be the operator that's going to be banned? Again, this is quite interesting. If MSC want, they can choose not to ban an anti-breach after all. Maybe a Valkyrie, perhaps. And no, it's going to be Vigil. These are interesting bans, Kenny. These are certainly interesting bans.
Yeah, I'll just like obviously pick up on that Vigil ban. Who would have seen that coming? A map like Villa obviously has a lot of roam potential, and getting an operator like Vigil off the board is exceptionally detrimental to a defense that likes to play, say, on that basement floor, or just roaming it in any essence. We've seen a lot of teams for an Aviator Games defense, which will be our first defense for MSC. They like to extend onto the statue trophy Astro side of things, waste time, shoot drones, fall back, and obviously Vigil is a massive part of that roam, coupled with maybe a Mozzie or a Mute. Mozzie we are seeing for being brought out from Mats, and a sick pick off of the Wamai to the Valkyrie for Fallen Valkyrie. Extremely potent operator on Villa with all the destructible flaws. I forgot I was observing for a second there, but we're here. And yeah, so much potential for C4s. There are 3 on the board for MSC. So it will be really intriguing to see if Kjell's Disciples, with sights on the IQ, are able to find out where those Valk cams are and shut down the intel game for MSC.
MSC surely have an idea what they want to do. Not only do they have, Valkyrie and Mozzie going for those intel operators, but they have, drone denial as well. Mozzie, serving that 2-in-1 purpose. On the side of the attackers, it's a very standard composition. You've got your hard breacher, you've got your roam clear, as it is essentially very important on the map of Villa that, you bring out the Jackal, you make sure that those pesky roamers are dealt with. Most likely we may just be expecting Valkyrie to play that role, as we can see Fallen playing towards bedroom, just holding the angle at the moment. Every single person in MSC right now, they have their positions set. Compositions are looking strong. In theory, this is going to come down to how quickly can the attackers take map control, and can they dispatch any of the defenders early on. We can see, Ash had a line of sight towards one of the defenders, went for a shot, is not going to be completed. No kills traded just yet, as Kjell's Disciples are slowly but surely making their way through the map. We can see Mats. This man has, been a part of a lot of teams, has been a part of the ECS journey for quite some time, playing in different rosters. Right now, he finds himself on the brink of, going into the playoffs and potentially securing a prize for himself. But he needs to win this game, and he needs to win a few more, as on his tail is going to be the Jackal. Potentially, TGS may spot him. Potentially, he may go for that confirmation. As on second floor, we have even more things taking place. We have plenty more attackers, we have plenty more defenders who are looking to engage in brawls really quickly.
Yeah, and it is going to be Mats. He's spotted out by the Jackal footprints, but wins the gunfight regardless. A beautiful headshot with that P10 Roni, but Svebo is there inside of Memo to gain that refrag before the C4 was able to be detonated in the hands of Mats, and that could have been very detrimental to a member of the offense inside of Master, but it wasn't to be. So, Kjell's Disciples, with just over half the round elapsed, they have made their way into 19. It is going to be this Master side across a take, and losing the smoke on the defense is a massive blow to that late round push. And Villa is a map where a lot of attacks come down to those dire seconds. Not having any smoke canisters to be able to use is really going to hurt MSC's defense.
Absolutely, and Kjell's Disciples, well, they're mounting on the pressure right now. You can see Creed, he's down to about 25 HP. The defenders, they need to hold the fort, but for how long? The attackers, they are ready to execute. 40 seconds still on the clock. You've got the front line of the defense. You have Dolch playing the Cade, holding the angle towards Aviator. He'll be taking that engagement. In the meanwhile, Valkyrie gets 1 kill for her team. Down goes the C4. Not just yet, mind you. Not just yet. 25 seconds still on the board. The attackers have pushed pushed in. There goes the C4. Finally, it has been blasted. Doesn't take any life, as already you had one of the attackers dead in the ground. That's going to be the same fate for IQ, as before you know it, this attack has crumbled. Cade, he can go for that redemption factor against him. Two healthy opponents, you know, and he has to plant the diffuser as well. I don't think, unfortunately, he's going to be successful. There goes the C4, and already MSC get round number 1. So they were off to a shaky start. You know, congratulations to, I mean, not congratulations, but yeah, thanks to Mats getting that opening kill and taking down TGS. That certainly was a large factor. Even though he was quickly traded out, there was no one on the attacking side on first floor. That hindered just the slightest bit for Kjell's disciples. And then the execute obviously, you know, failed because of various reasons. Most likely because of all the kills that took place.
Yeah, that was the essence of a Villa round through and through. The time was stalled by MSC's defense, even though I spoke about them losing the smoke so early on. It wasn't a massive factor because they still had 2 C4s in the pocket of the Cade and the Valkyrie, and a massive win condition was Jaeger being able to retake Study that the Ash gained control of. Study inside of Villa is the win condition for this bomb site. I'll just give it a lovely little top down here. If you have Study control, you essentially control the entire bomb site. And obviously being the default plant spot behind the vault door, if you don't have Study control, you can't plant behind the vault door. You can't even plant behind the maps. So having that control as an attacker is essential to being able to get that bomb down. And Svebo obviously dying to Creeds flanking through top main was pivotal in MSC being able to take their first defense. And now moving on to Statue Trophy. I love a downstairs hold. Pulse, mute, reinforcements also invested downstairs. It's a heavy investment in stopping Kjell's disciples being able to establish that vertical pressure, because these mute jammers, obviously, they're easily able to destroy from below, but you can also nade over the top of the wall if Kjell's disciples decide to ignore bottom floor, but then obviously they are susceptible to those all-important C4s from below, CCV.
Yeah, everything is looking good for the side of MSC right now. You know, they have plenty of map control. You already look at Mats, this time playing the Melusi, going for that active intel denial by shooting down those drones and immediately falling back. So he is doing his job as a roamer nicely. He wasted a bit of time, wasted a bit of utility, and then he fell back, making the attackers retake that space that they already invested some of the things in. However, there's the opening kill. This time it's going to be Valkyrie taking down the sledge, and yet again this is one of the factors for MSC that has been helping them, you know, secure these round wins, is that they can get the opening kill. In the previous round, Mats got the kill, but then he was quickly traded out. In this while, Mats and Creed both fall to the ground by the members of Kjell's disciples as they take avid map control. You still have IQ pushing towards second floor, and you have plenty, I believe one defender still on 2F as well, trying to hold down the fort, trying to make sure none of the attackers can get a lot of control. However, looks like MSC have different plans right now. You know, they are falling down, and Kjell's disciples are just mounting the pressure. Fallen still on second floor, and he has Mickey to his rescue as well to try and help them get side control and try and help them keep the side control, you know, as they don't want the attackers to overrun it and plant the spike anytime soon. So I think this is surely one of the bigger factors. The attackers in the meanwhile, well, they've got a minute to work with. They are having fun, they are taking their time. You can see Svebu and TGS, you know, pushing up Astro stairs. You also have, you know, Hibana present in closet, as there's another kill from Mickey. He's peeking wide, and before you know it, we are down to equal man count. The mute jammers right now, Kenny, that you were mentioning early on, well, they're going to come in clutch, as Fallen is the only one surviving. 30 seconds on the board, 50 HP on Svebu. He's going towards Astronomy, trying to peek wide. You have Fallen holding this close angle. He knows about someone in bathroom. He's going for the flank. He can peek wide, catches them off guard and gets the 2 kills. MSC win round number 2 even after there was a shaky start.
We spoke about the importance of a Valkyrie being banned out in the operator ban phase, and that is exactly why information Z pings were fed to Fallen. and he was able to capitalize on it. His 4 dead teammates were able to give the call, or one of them, or all 4 of them, depends how the comms work. But for them, he had the intel. He knew that neither of the 2 remaining attackers were looking at his potential flank through master, and that is the power of Valkyrie, especially when the IQ is one of the early deaths and you just don't have the time to be able to search and look for those Valkyrie cams, because they are extremely small and hard to find with these tall ceilings on Villa. So really good use of the Valkyrie there, and a 1 versus 2, it was fantastically played by Fallen. I can't fault it there. Kjell's Disciples, they suffered from not being able to get those mute jammers off. They attempted a take from Study across with a potential, well, an eventual rotate from the Hibana into Master, but they weren't able to get those mute jammers off the triple wall, and that ultimately meant that they had to funnel through a single doorway. That was their demise in the round. So MSE putting the first 2 rounds on the board. It is Villa defense, so you would expect this from MSE. But 2, I would say, quite... The first one more convincing than the second, but still, MSE looked to be slightly further in the driver's seat than Kjell's at the moment.
Absolutely, and I think at the moment, yeah, Kjell's Disciples, the fact that they pick the map means that they cannot make any more mistakes. You know, they have to make sure that they capitalize on every single opportunity they find. So keeping all of that in the back of our minds at the moment right now, yep, we start, we commence with round number 3. Both the second floor bomb sites have been won by the defenders. We now move on to first floor dining. Yet again, a very, very similar, operator composition. We've been seeing these operators through the past 2 rounds, and already, let me pause that point. It seems like the attackers are taking very rapid control already inside of Piano. I think that's Bobby playing the sledge. And yep, we have Pulse right here. He knows about the location of the attackers. He'll be looking to take any engagements, as Mats was there. Bottom of red stairs, spotted one of the peoples. Ash has been tagged. Svebu down to about 75 HP. He can still take a healthy duel, but it is more down to what the Pulse can achieve. He has a lot of information about the whereabouts of the members of Kjell's Disciples, and he can peek out whenever he wants to. Arguably, yes, his gun isn't the best, however, the information can surely recoup that. Oh, he takes the gunfight, unfortunately loses it to the IQ. Finally, Kjell's Disciples, they are the ones winning the opening duel, and now there's a follow-up as well, just like the previous round, and there's the third in their team's favor. They have been shut down by Fallen only now, but I think the damage has been done. Fallen, he can try his best. He gets a double. He makes sure that the man advantage still is equalized just a tad bit, but with Creed being gone off the board, this was the first victory of Kjell's Disciples.
Yeah, just a fantastic display of a horizontal take there from Kjell's Disciples. Even though MSE were set up to stunt a horizontal take, it wasn't enough, truth to be told. Kjell's Disciples just flooded the Pulse out of Living Room, took the engagement because they knew that he was essentially alone inside of Living Room, and yes, the Pulse can feed loads of intel to his teammates and himself, but if there's no one there to act on the intel or back up the Pulse, he is a free target. On maps like Consulate, we see if pulses are brought for, say, a CEO meeting defense, and there is a pulse roaming downstairs, the attackers will most likely invest a lot of resources and manpower into clearing him, because a pulse can be the difference maker in a round. Having full live intel on positions from the attackers in real time is a massive, massive piece of intel for the defense. So Kjell's Disciples dealt with it fantastically and put their first attack on the board. A tertiary site for Villa. You want to start to get those attacking rounds on the board, because a 4-2 half, maybe even a 3-3 by the end of the first 6 rounds is quite good for the attack still on Villa, even if we have moved out of this utility meta.
And the likes of Kjell's Disciples, they'll surely be looking to get as many rounds on board as well. Yeah, just like you mentioned about the attack. Even I think it most likely it's going to be a 4-2 split. More optimistically for the attackers, 3-3. But I think that's about it. MSC are giving them a good fight. They are winning a lot of those duels. They are denying them a lot of map control as well, especially early on. One example of that we can see right now. You have Fallen Mats playing the Valkyrie and Mozzie, just hunting those drones, making sure that the attackers have as little information as possible. In terms of map control, however, the attackers, well, it's a different story. They are quite aggressive. They are looking to, contest the defenders, because even the members of Kjell's disciples, they have faith and they have a lot of confidence in their ability to win those gunfights. Here we see one of the Valcams being destroyed. Fallen still has one more of it, as we see TGS, finally pushing towards bedroom. Again, in front of him, there's going to be the drone from Ruby. Mats is there holding a cheeky flank that could be vital later on, essentially, if the attackers aren't aware of their flanks, and if they don't have a flank watch setup. However, in this case, they may just need to be watching their fronts, as Creed was holding the classical hall angle, just looking to deal some damage to the attackers right now. And yeah, to deal with that, well, of course, you have Bobby playing the Zofia, now rappelling on the 90 window. Things are calm. Map control is being taken. At the moment, MSC need to find a way to retaliate to all of that.
Yeah, and Kjells are going to start off with clearing this utility. No ADSs to protect that shield inside of the long corridor. And Svebo is just checking these angles and looking for the first kill in this round. He's going to have to be wary of Fallen holding this prone angle through the drone hole. He's going to spot a couple of toes, but the trigger discipline is there. The MPX does not have a high DPS, so it's going to be difficult to go for it. A player spotted downstairs, and that's him. He gets the C4 off. Svebo was too late to the call to be able to cut off Mats's potential for a C4 down below. That is sights and the IQ off the board. And Kjells, they took all this control and have stalled, but Svebo, with a walk-up made stairs, has a lot of control. I spoke about study control in the previous attack onto this bomb site, and it's in Kjells' hands, but they've just lost it as Svebo goes down. He doesn't go down without a fight, though, as he does take down Fallen in the process. 1 C4 off the board.
Oh, there's a nice kill in favor of the attackers. The smoke was vital, but Fallen is certainly giving them a good fight. You also have Mats holding the crossfire inside of study right now. 13 seconds. The diffuser is going to go down. Mats unaware of the exact location just yet. It is a 1v1. He knows the Zofia is present right there. He can spot her if he wants to. Takes the duel, wins it. Nice headshot. A triple kill for this man. And the triple round for MSE. This was a nice final few seconds. I think the fact that Nick was still alive as the smoke, contrary to how the previous attack on this bomb site went, where the smoke died quite early on and he wasn't able to deny a lot of control to the attackers. So yeah, unlike that, this time he really slowed down the push towards aviator entrance, and because of that, well, there were severe consequences that Kjell's had to deal with, and unfortunately they lost that round.
Yeah, oh, excuse me. Yeah, I can't really, yet again, fault MSC, even though it did come down to the dire seconds in a 1 versus 1 or a clutch situation. MSC came out on top, and just the time that they were able to waste, as you spoke about, was paramount in that round. And retaking study control, killing off Svebo again, and the player who started it all off, Mats, downstairs, he was able to rotate back up the main stairs, retake into study, and pull off another 1 versus 2 for an MSE member. So they are firmly in control of this game so far. They are, however, going to a bomb site they have not yet won, and if I'm not mistaken, they could have gone to statue here, but they've instead opted for dining. What are your thoughts on that?
I think they're trying to refine some of the mistakes they made in the previous round. They went to kitchen and dining. Perhaps we can already spot a few operator changes, right? You don't have the Mozzie anymore. The Pulse has been taken off the board as well. You have 2 anti-breachers. And one good thing from MSC is that they always have a bit of priority for information and drone denial, whether it is Mats playing the Mozzie or whether it's Nick playing the mute as well. He loves to play the SAS operators. But yeah, they give a priority to information denial, and on a map such as Villa, where vast map control can be taken and has to be taken by the attackers, it is absolutely necessary. This is a good step they've been taking. So right now, a C4 has been used to, blast away that hatch, allowing for possible flanks in the future and maybe even, quick rotates from the second floor down to the first. In the meanwhile, putting our attention on the attackers right now, they are slow and steady, just exactly what, Kjells have been doing for the previous few rounds. They've just been holding their ground, getting that map control, and then they execute, albeit not always in the best of manners. In this case, however, damage has been traded. Creed and Bobby both a little low on HP. TG is going to spot Valkyrie present on second floor, so that's going to be a hunt and a half, going to travel miles for that prey. As MSC as well, they're taking it very, very slow. They know the attackers have to act, and all MSC needs to do is just proactively hold angles. That's exactly what they'll be doing. Nick finds the first kill of the round. Ruby, your only heart breacher is gone. On this side, heart breachers aren't completely necessary, especially with the living room push that Kjells are building towards. But it's still good to know that, Kjels are giving them a fight as Nick himself dies, but not before Fallen gets a kill for himself, taking down Swivel.
Yeah, they're kind of trying to force their hand through the setup here, Kjells. They still have to worry about Mats on that top floor roam, and he could potentially drop the 90 hatch or come down red stairs at any opportunity. Or as you mentioned earlier on, that study hatch drop, there's a lot of unknowns here for Kjels, and we see Scythe inside of the secret room, and he is shut down by Dutch. This basement proving very costly and very annoying for Kjels' attack, because it's Villa. You simply just don't have the resources to be able to clear out the basement and hold every single flank up through those 3 staircases down below. TGS gets taken down and leaves it all up to Bobby Boy inside of Clock, and it's a fairly almost flawless defense for MSC. Fantastically held, and it was just a horizontal take that worked last time. MSC adapted to it the second time around, and Kjels, they just couldn't find their entries. MSC yet again wasted enough time, and in the end, Kjels, they didn't establish enough control on the bomb site. Yes, a horizontal take can work, but there's so many anchor positions inside of Dining Kitchen that when you actually get to the exterior of the bomb site, there's just so many angles to check and so many corners and spots that the defenders can sit in, as you're not establishing vertical control like the normal attack where you go top down through master statue, open up above all of the entire bomb site, so there's nowhere to sit. But that's the downside of a horizontal take, and I think that's why we don't see it as often as the top down.
Absolutely, I have to agree with you on that one. And now, yet again, we move on to, another primary bomb site on this map. So round 6, both of us were expecting a 4-2 split. It is still possible, however, the possibility is ever so decreasing as more and more rounds have been taking place. MSC are certainly looking like the better team right now. They are adapting far better to the attacks that we've been seeing from their opponents. They know how to counter strat. They know how to make sure that they end up winning the rounds. So it's all that's also surely going to be vital once we see the side swap and once we see Kjels going for the defense. As in the meanwhile, looks like MSC are going to go for a bottom hole and a proper hole, with reinforcements and Mozzie Pests and Mute Jammers and possibly even Valkyrie Black Eyes. So they don't want to give any vertical control to Kjel's disciples. And this is where I think, what if Kjel's, opt for another horizontal take? What if they choose to enter from study and study balcony and, aviator games and all that? How quickly can MSC make changes and adapt and acclimatize to the new scenario they've been put in? Because at the moment, that's exactly what's going to happen. Kjels, the majority of their players are coming in from the southern side of the map. Yes, there is still some form of retaliation. You have Creed holding the angle towards long haul, and he'll be the front line of the defense. But can he survive? Can he withstand this test? It looks like, MSC, they've made good adjustments. I was just going to mention that Melusi Banshee that has now been taken off the board and has been destroyed, as the second one is going to be destroyed as well. as Kjels are not taking this lightly. They want to take rapid control. Only a minute gone into the action phase, and yet again they're looking far, far stronger.
Shells, they have to worry about those C4s from below. We see right now that's Matt. No, it's Dutch. They've changed who is playing Mozzie, and it's thrown me off spectating. He's down below the bottom of red stairs with the potential of a C4. And I was just about to say before I got absolutely flustered about what I was doing, they had to be wary of those C4s down below because they had no presence downstairs. But it's going to work for them as they get 2 entry frags on the map. Down goes Fallen and Creed. Fallen, the top fragger so far in this matchup, and he has gone off the board. Dutch downstairs, he might catch off the IQ rotating bottom Astro stairs, but loses the gunfight. His teammate of Nicky falls elsewhere on the bomb site, and it's all left up to Mats and Master. He has down the diffuser, and Scythe in DBNO is effective 1 versus 3, but as Scythe gets recovered a 1 versus 4. He has the intel and the yellow pings gifted him from the Valkyrie cams to potentially do this. The C4 gets expended, but will not knock any HP off of that player inside of Astro. TGS caught in the knifing of the barbed wire, gets taken down. Quite careless there, and with 2 lit opponents, this is possible for Mats, but no. Svebo, the highest HP member, he has the R4C, and he shuts down the attempt at 1 versus 5.
Alright, this was a far better attack from the members of Kjell's Disciples. You know, a 4-2 and a 4-2 split after all. So things aren't looking too bad for the men in orange right now. You know, they can get 2 rounds on board. They can surely put that up, and, you know, they can equalize the score very quickly, as they surely would like to. The pressure is now on to MSC. You know, they can take the early lead. If they end up winning round number 7, you know, if they just go out guns blazing and they somehow catch the members of Kjell's Disciples off guard, that can help them surely get that match point. That can help them, you know, possibly even win the map. However, it needs to take place right now. If we talk about the lineups both of these teams have brought, again, fairly standard. Goyo, an operator from Svebu that, you know, we haven't seen so far. We are going to see, you know, we are going to see Cade yet again. So yeah, very, very standard compositions. I don't think these teams are willing to and are wanting to experiment a lot, not at this time where so much is at stake. Again, if any of our viewers aren't aware, very, very simple storyline right now for both MSC and Kjell's Disciples. The winner will be moving on into the playoffs bracket. They'll be facing off against Team Manic. The loser, they'll be going home empty-handed after an entire group stage worth of preparation and after so many matches won. So a lot to play for. Very, very simple storyline. However, just because it's simple doesn't mean that it's not high stakes. As a matter of fact, yeah, both of these teams are, you know, playing really in dire situation for themselves, and they need to make sure that they end up the winners of this best of 3 and of this duel. As we speak of that, round number 7 is in front of us. The action phase is now going to be starting. Okay, Cade okay, he's struggling a little bit. You know, I saw this on one of the videos Coconut Bride posted, that, you know, you can just lodge that electric claw on that door, that vault door, and then it cannot be destroyed by any Thatcher EMPs. But then again, Thatcher is banned. I guess that must be the location TGS should find out, and he should be encompassing in the next time he plays this bomb site. But in the meanwhile, the first kill has happened, and it was in favor of Kjell's Disciples.
Yeah, a swift entry from MSC into Master, but they were met with resistance, and it was on the Astro stairs. That was sights on the Mossy. We've seen the P10 Roni be very effective so far in this game. A lot of swift kills coming in from the high fire rate on that gun with the 1.5 and a preset nitro down below. Could be the end of Mats if there is a call from a Kjell's member, but it seems to be they've just fallen off as of yet. I believe it will be Ruby, if I can get that. Yeah, it'll be Ruby to call that C4. He has the shield on the zombie door, and he's going to call Svebo. There goes, but it will catch nothing. The C4 on the, I call this the lady door, doesn't net anything as Nicky just evades it. But a swift entry in from MSC has really started to stall out, as Bobby Boy inside of 90 is meeting resistance along with Svebo. They're shutting down the drone game from MSC, and it's prompted a player to repel on the window and even expend a nade. That is Fallen.
Alright, so yeah, exactly. MSC, they need new ways to mount pressure on the defenders. Right now, they are all ganging up towards that aviator, though the smoke canister is going to help them, as it looks like Swebu has lost a considerable amount of his HP in trying to launch that C4 towards that door. He engages in another gunfight. You can see Dolch down to 25 as well. So this can be a very, very expensive duel that these two people are engaging in. They need to be sure what happens, and there, down goes Dodge, and that's the kill, and that's the diffuser dropped as well. So Kjell's disciples, this is going to be a retrieval mission right now, as we have, we have Mats on very little HP. We can see that the Hibana pellets are also going to be used, trying to open up Aviator. Mats holding the outside angle. However, Swebu, he's just lodged up in this corner. Look at that, like an Cade Electroclaw, holding the close quarter angle with that vector, waiting for the attackers, and well, Mats just walks right into his crosshairs as Swebu walks right into that air jab. But unfortunately for Kjell's disciples, it is too little, too late. They have lost the round. There goes the final kill, and a flawless in favor of their side.
A fantastic defense, I have to say, to start off the second half of this matchup. And I think a factor in that round was losing the Zofia so early, especially when the defense was stacked with a Goyo who has 2 shields, a Smoke who has a shield. There was just so much utility to get rid of that MSC had to deal with, and losing the Zofia, those 2 concussions to burn ADSs, the 2 impacts obviously to clear out that bulletproof utility. It then left it all up to Mats on the Ash to deal with the whole heap of brick walls that were presented to him, and with the aggression from Svebo on the zombie door, he only had to worry about one angle, because I've said it 1,000 times so far, study control was not in the hands of the attackers, so Svebo could have his back to study, take the gunfight to zombie door for free, because there was no cross angle established on him. And a one-on-one gunfight, a Vector at close range, is very difficult to beat out that high fire rate. I personally, myself, absolutely adore the Vector. I think it is a very underrated gun, purely because of the fire rate. And Svebo, obviously, going 12-5 so far. He is showing us the Vector or any other gun in his hands can really be the downfall of any opposition. 12-5 in the first 7 rounds is a massive feat, and he is certainly putting up the brunt of the fragging work for Kjell's. They are, however, still a round down, so they've got to bring back this, bring it back with this statue defense, and I'm sure they will be able to do so, because this was a bomb site that they themselves really struggled with attacking the first time around.
I think surely Kjell's disciples have learned their lesson. They know what to do correctly right now. Okay, Creed was holding his angle towards bathroom. Could have found someone off guard, but there was no one to be found. Everyone on the side of Kjell's, they are already in possession, and yet again, those C4s, they can be a menace to the players over at MSC. If they aren't completely careful, if they don't have any drones, especially towards dining or kitchen. 1 foot here, 1 foot there, but I don't think they'll be a hassle any longer. Creed, he dispatches Swebu real quickly, and that's the thing. Kenny, like you were mentioning, he was really putting in a lot of work in terms of getting kills, and now it falls down to Sides, who engages in a gunfight. However, it won't work out in his favor. Bobby Boy as well, holding a nice angle, catches the Nomad completely off guard, as that is the man advantage neutralized by both of the teams. Mats, sorry, on the other hand, he's right there towards astronomy stairs. We have a lot of areas where the attackers are, trying to pressurize for. You have people towards bedroom and closet as well. Then you have people on the first floor. However, still, in terms of map control, things are yet to be taken. Astronomy stairs is an area which hasn't completely taken by the attackers. You have Mats and Creed holding the vertical angles, but they haven't let their presence completely known by pushing up and trying to get rid of Cade as well. Speak of the devil, he gets a kill for himself. That is Fallen taken off the board. A simple, nice headshot by TGS. The C4 goes out as well, trying to damage Creed, as Bobby Boy is there for the rescue if any more pressure is mounted. But Cade is all fine on his own. The second kill for TGS, and MSC are really, really crumbling apart. You have the 2 primary fraggers. Creed is making his way up astronomy stairs. Matt's already being damaged by sides, as I don't think this is going to be the round for MSC, to be honest. Okay, finally Kate has been taken off the board. Both the attackers having a regroup session towards astronomy. However, the defenders can very easily deal with this push now more than ever, as the smoke canister has been thrown, further limiting the area of control these attackers have, further limiting the time these attackers have to work with as well. And another excellent smoke canister placement by Ruby. He knew Creed was rotating over to bedroom. He knows both the attackers are really disconnected right now. We can see the point of view of Mats trying to get a kill either on Ruby or onto sides. He spots one of them. His teammate is also there to peek the angle. There's the first kill. There's the follow-up in favor of Kjell's disciples. And well, there's the round. The round count has been equalized 4-4.
Yeah, a repeat of what we saw in rounds 1 and 2 in rounds 7 and 8. An AV defense successful, a statue defense successful. But this next round is where it could all change. The flow of things could be messed and muddled around, because the third attack was where Kjell's put their first round on the board, and it was onto dining room and kitchen, which is the exact bomb site they themselves will be defending. So MSE, with the look of their spawns, 4 spawns in Fountain, it doesn't look like they will be opting for that horizontal take that we saw out of Kjell's. They have the sledge on the board, they have the soft destruction from the Ashen Zephyr, and potentially even the Nomad breaching charges. All 5 could have breaching charges for all I know, but in more reality-wise, we're going to be seeing, the flashbangs on Dutch and Nikki, and then the breaching charges on Mats and Creed. So there's a lot of soft breach potential, but obviously the sick pick to the Pulse CCV is what could be the downfall. That cardiac scanner, along with 3 C4s, could meet a weary end to any player that decides to place down a breaching charge or a sledge that decides to reconstruct this lovely villa flooring.
Alright, we are going into round number 9, and I have to agree with you. I know you've been talking a lot about study because of the importance it holds, but I mean, in general, study, it's a beautiful room in of itself. The architecture supporting the table as well, the computer, I'm sure a dual monitor would have been better, but okay. All jokes aside, look, right now Sides is present in study, trying to get a cheeky little angle onto one of the attackers, and guess what? He may just find one of them off guard. As the yellow ping goes through, Mats is ready to take the engagement as Sides backs off at the final moment. So, Kjell's disciples, they know what to prioritize. They want to prioritize the health and wealth of their roamers. They want to waste the time of the attackers and, well, limit the utility and the drones that they have, as has been a theme throughout this entire game. As many drones as you can destroy, the far better outcome and the far more likely outcome it will be for your team. So that's exactly what's happening. Mats has taken control, and yet again the attackers are going to start their vertical control, but not before Swebu has to say something about it. He's also present. It's not just down to Sides, and well, speaking of people who are down goes Creeds. Yet again, the Zofia has been lost really early on. Kjell's are looking strong. Fallen gets tagged as well, as Mats is there for the refrag extremely quickly, and now the attackers have direct vertical control as Mats. That was a nice flick. The yellow pings are really coming in clutch for these fine gentlemen over here, but the C4s are still present. One on TGS, one on Bobby Boy, not to mention the cardiac sensor. Speaking of the C4s, looks like both of them have been dispatched, but to no avail.
Yeah, those 2 C4s not netting anything could be quite disastrous for Kjell's disciples, because in a man deficit, when you... Oh my! Scrap that! A 2-man deficit as Nikki gets a beautiful headshot down through the hatch. Here's Johnny, here's Nikki, and bye-bye Bobby Boy. It's a 4v2 for MSC, and they have a whole bunch of time to work with. A third of the round still up, and they have all this vertical control to use to their liking. They've already opened up the laundry wall into the bomb site, and a plant behind the Tetris wall could be the next port of call, but Ruby, he steps up huge with a double in 1 mag of the SMG-11, and he puts the man count back even. A fantastic display of gun skill. Now, but he will be caught off by Dutch. The crouch walk into the bomb site. He's not aware of the final member. Tacks up TGS through the wall, but the barricade is going to stop him from leaving Memorial. It's all on him behind this little white tarp. He's going to engage in the gunfight. He is going to down Dutch through the wall. He will hear the proning sound of Dutch and finally finish him off, but into a post plant, and Fallen has fantastically repositioned up above. He has the hole above the diffuser, and he is going to bait away TGS. The sound of that diffuser is going to be the call for Fallen to peek, but he doesn't spot the Cade. Cade on 1 HP has a lot of work to do. Only 10 seconds left effectively with a 7-second diffuser time. He is going to go for the stick, and Fallen will net the kill. Fantastically played late round from Fallen to get that diffuser down and secure the round for MSC.
Well, better late than never for MSC. You know, we started off in the second half. They unfortunately lost the 2 rounds, and because of that reason, you know, yeah, the game got incredibly close for both of these teams. Kjell's disciples, you know, they spotted this sense of victory. They spotted this comeback, and they'll be on it right now. Meanwhile, MSC, they know that their opponents are on their tail. They know they need to mount a considerable lead right now, and they can get the follow-up victory as well. Of course, we are going to a primary bomb site on the 2nd floor, so getting a win right here is going to be quite tough, as we see an interesting 6th pick. Swebu from Melusi goes to Clash, and I'm sure, you know, Ebac will really be happy after that pick. This one is going in his personal highlight reel. I'm sure he'll be waterviewing this one. But again, the Clash, okay, interesting pick. I'm more interested to see where does the Clash play. My guess is possibly study if MSC are going to, you know, be going for the horizontal take, you know, getting bedroom control and then executing from classical hallway like what they were doing in the previous round. Then the Clash can play towards classical hallway as well. Again, it's a very narrow lane with not a lot of free space for the attackers to, you know, move about. So the Clash can be vital right there. But well, it's up to Swebu to decide. He has been getting 12 kills. So is he the best person to play the Clash, or could he have played the role of the person, you know, who stays behind the Clash, peeking in and out, causing trouble and causing chaos for the attackers? Well, I guess that's up to, you know, Kjell's disciples to decide, as at the moment we'll be seeing MSC possibly preparing for another take. You know, they'll be looking to get match point on board. They have this round lead. I don't think they'll be looking to give it away, but at the same time, we are going back to Aviator in games. At the same time, we are going back to this bomb site that has given a lot of trouble to MSC during their attack last time around. So they've got to make sure they don't make any silly mistakes. Already Fallen outside of study, Dulch holding this passive angle and holding, you know, the Zulu area towards 1st floor, as everyone is just waiting for their part to be played in this fight.
Yeah, I have to echo your point of having your top fragger, the man whose gun has come alive so far for Kjell's disciples, on the Clash. I am a firm believer that obviously anyone should be able to play any operator, but a shield which effectively does not have an upward gun, as Svebo just proves me wrong shooting a plant pot, why would you put your best man who's feeling himself and he's confident so far today on that role where he's not able to effectively frag out? But we're going to have to be proven wrong. That is up to Svebo to do it. As an early bit of a utility clear on the top of main stairs comes out, they remove the shield and force the players back into the bomb site. And this is really good time management, clearing away top main stairs with a minute 20 left. It's fantastic so far for MSC.
Absolutely, and now they're taking these duels. They're actively seeking the gunfights. Creedy, he has to be careful not to lose his calm right here. He has to be careful, doesn't give away the kill. TGS, in the meanwhile, is holding the angle towards Long. He's holding the angle towards Study, and it nets him a kill onto Nick. So, that's one of the players gone. MSC are dealing a lot of damage, and finally, their work pays off, but not before Mozzie catches a kill for themselves. Look at all of the defenders. Look at their HP. Sides as well on nothing right now. Bobby Boy, 25. Ruby, 25. Swebo as well with roughly 25. So one bullet, and that is the end. Mats is inside the bomb site. The spike is with Dutch. Swebo goes down. This may just be the round ending play. Bobby Boy and Ruby, all it will take is one bullet. Dutch tries to repel in. Sorry, no, that was someone else tries to repel in, but Dutch is the only person surviving. Against him is Bobby Boy. Very little HP, however, one bullet can certainly make the difference. Dutch still hasn't spotted where the Jaeger is, as the ADSs are going to help their master. Bobby Boy peeks wide, and that's the kill. That's the round. Kjell's disciples still make through it, make through all of those bullets, and make through all of that gunfire to equalize the score once again. It came down to a very, very crazy gunfight, but the defenders still pull through.
Yeah, a scrappy one at that. And I think the scoreboard shows of the scrap we're seeing so far, both teams unable to be dislodged from one another. 5-5, equal scoreline up on the board. And we're going to need all 12 rounds, CCV. First map on Villa is going the distance. Maybe not as distant all. Really, really good English. Maybe not as distant as round 15. We could need all 15 rounds to decide the first map in this best of 3 between these two teams. If you are just joining us, this is a playoffs game between MSC and Kjell's Disciples. The winner goes through to face Team Manic in the next stage of playoffs. The loser, they're done for this season of the ECS playoffs, and it's a best of 3. First map, as we see, on Villa. Second map will be Chalet. That is MSC's pick. And the decider will be Oregon if we need it. And I think with how Villa is going, we may be seeing Oregon. But Chalet, with it being the newest map inside the competitive map pool, some teams are going to be better on it than others. And that's just the essence of Siege. Maps take a long time to develop and develop a strong meta on inside of T1, and then obviously that needs to translate down to T4 as well. But one of these teams could be very strong with Chalet. We've seen MSC pick it, so they obviously want to go to Chalet. The question is whether Kjells are going to be up to the task and have practiced Chalet as much as seemingly I assume MSC have.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, well, yeah, MSC have chosen the map of Chalet as well. So after Villa, they had a free pick of which map they wanted to choose. They chose Chalet. So it looks like they have prepared it. The question is, what exactly takes place on Villa? Because we have gone through 10 rounds and no one knows who's going to come out on top. No one can safely predict which team is going to win. It is still a 50-50 between both MSC and Kjell's Disciples. So in the meanwhile, right now, well, all we can see is how the round unfolds and what all events take place. At the moment, it's going to be, the attack of MSC once again, going for the roam clear. Creed downed and outed by one of the members. That's going to be Swebo, this time on the more aggressive role with the 416. Playing the Jaeger, even after the nerf, this man can really put that gun to good use. We can see Fallen as well, really lit up. So Swebo is certainly doing his job, and maybe he can get another kill. He can catch one of the attackers off guard. The yellow ping is there. Oh, this is excellent, Valcam placement. He spots Mats, goes for the gunfight, wins it. Ruby, in the meanwhile, is also going to be getting one kill. Oh no, unfortunately, Swebo lost the gunfight. I didn't see that completely. But yeah, we still have, Kjell's Disciples who have the man advantage right now. Now, more than ever, as Dutch and Fallen, both of them go down to 25 HP. But we saw it in the past round. HP doesn't define you. You defines you. Again, good English.
Ooh, bit of philosophy there from the brain box himself, CCV. You define you. Fantastic. And we're going to see if Kjell's Disciples can define this round, because they are in the driver's seat. They have a 4 versus 3 going into the final minute, and HP advantage certainly in their favour. Yellow Ping's coming out on a member inside of Astro. On the globe, that will be sites. Elsewhere, Nikki gets taken down on the breach. TGS inside of Trophy nets a long-range kill with the 1.5 on that Cade Organ. It's all down to the two remaining members on MSC who have 1 bullet's worth of HP left to their names, and this is a tall order with 3 kills to find. One of the C4s nets the first, and it's all down to Fallen stuck in a Banshee. Thank God he'll be saying the nerf is coming next season, but not right now as Sights creeps up behind and does his best Fallen impression, flanking through Master and Bathroom to net the final kill.
Right, so that's match point for Kjell's Disciples, and the thing is, they can now move forward and be fairly confident in their ability to win the next round as well. I believe, okay, the bomb side is going to be kitchen and dining, so they may suffer through what they had gone through, the previous round and the previous time we saw there with that 1v2 clutch that I believe it was TGS back then as well, playing the Cade, tried to disable the diffuser, but unfortunately things didn't go in his favor, as you had Fallen holding that nice vertical angle. So in this case, Kjell's Disciples, they need to be going, and they need to be guns blazing right out of the gate. And already Swebu is going to go for a Capcan pick. Okay, I can understand how in the heat of the moment Capcan can be useful, and I guess in theory, you also have the C4 present. So yet again, 3 C4s on this bomb site. In the previous round, none of those C4s were truly utilized to their entire potential. We didn't see any kills whatsoever. Hopefully this time, Kjell's Disciples put them to better use, as these Capcan traps, yeah, they'll have better placement. And I think that's the theory right here. Swebu, oh no, oh, is he back? Okay, he's back. Alright, that was a mini heart attack in of itself. That was like walking through a popcorn trap. Just seeing him, just switch up, I was like, oh no. But okay, it's all good. It's all well and good. And it's more up to MSC. What exactly are they planning right here? Are they going for the same take? Because yes, they won the previous round, but keep in mind, Kenny, it came down to that close 1v1 that truly could have gone either way had it not been for Fallen's quick thinking, going for that vertical angle. And again, keep in mind, all of the viewers, that any one of these C4s can deal a deadly blow to the attackers. So they need to be careful with each and every step that they take on this map.
I do have to say, those are some fantastic electricals from TGS. You will not be able to destroy them from above if you don't know where they are. And we saw MSC, they were able to open the laundry breach quite swiftly last time around, and not being able to get those electricals off the board may be very annoying, and could be the end of their round, because the laundry breach is pretty important. But what is also important is keeping players on the board, and as Kreese falls first death yet again, it's not looking good. And Svebo making his way into Master, gets drones, but plays footwork with the MSC attack, and Scythes adds on Bobby Boy as well. It's all on Fallen to keep his team in the first map on Villa. No! Scythes' C4 ends the round with a 3k to his name. Good halves all around, a 7-5 victory in the hands of Kjell's Disciples.
Look, Kjell's, they started off not on the best foot forward. However, they certainly made the comeback. And I think this is exactly what they were preparing for. They knew that their attack was going to be tough. They just wanted to get through it with the least minimal amount of damage as possible. It was their defense where they would shine. And just look at the kills on board. My, oh my. Swebu 14, Sides 13. You have TGS with 10 as well, 9 for Bobby. Ruby, yes, he had 5 kills, but then again, he's playing that supportive role. For the majority of the game, we saw him playing a lot of ECS operators. So you can't really say that because he didn't have a lot of kills, he didn't have a bad game. He had a bad game, sorry. No, he didn't have a bad game. He was really supporting his team. He was facilitating all of the plays that were taking place, and he was helping his other teammates get those frags. So that was certainly good for the side of Kjell's Disciples. They've gone off to a better start in this best of 3. They've won their own map. Our next map is going to be Chalet, a map which I am excited for, a map which can be the redemption arc for Machine Soldiers Academy, because they chose this one, and a map which most likely, is going to either end it all for Machine Soldiers Academy, or is going to propel us forward into the decider map of this best of 3. But yeah, there's still a lot of time to find out what takes place here.
Yes, so just while I sort myself out with the maps, if you don't know, I am producing for the first time as well, observing and being alongside CCV. So rather than us talk for the 3 or 4 minutes between the two maps, I'm just going to sort myself out with the
Yeah.
next game, making sure the sides are all correct and there are no mistakes so we don't have any more delays. So we're just going to head to a quick few minutes break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Welcome back everyone to Elite Championship Series. This is of course the playoffs, out of which it is going to be one of the final maps, we'll be seeing in the early stages, and then we'll be locking our final 8. Out of those final 8, we already have, a lot of teams in place. Now the question is, out of Machine Soldiers Academy and Kjell's Disciples, which team is going to make it through? This is a best of 3. Kjell's Disciples already winning map number 1. We head into map number 2. I'm the real CCV, joined alongside Kangaroo Kenny. And well, this is Chalet, the pick of Machine Soldiers Academy. On paper, they should be the better team right here. On paper, they should be looking quite good and they should be winning this map after all. But things can really, really change quickly.
Certainly so. We saw a spell of Kjell's Disciples rounds in the last map on Villa. They had 2 consecutive moments when they won 3 rounds in a row, and momentum wise that is huge. MSC, I think they just need to find something to claw back those rounds in those 1 versus 1s or those 1 versus 2s that they ended up losing. Just find something to stem the momentum from Kjell's Disciples, because I've said it many times on previous broadcasts that half of Siege is mindset, and if you are winning rounds, the vibes in the comms are good, that could really change the outcome of a game. And obviously Kjell's Disciples, with the first map victory, they are in a good stead for the remaining 2 maps. If they need it, they could end it all here on Chalet.
Alright, so judging by the operator bans right now, again, it's a replication of what we saw in Villa. Thatcher is gone off the board, the Mira is taken down as well, and the only thing is Cade is now gone. So yeah, not any major change. Only this time Cade is no more, but that's about it. And in this case, we're starting off on a first floor bomb site, and this is the thing with Villa, right? You start off on a first floor bomb site, you still need to make sure that second floor is under control. If we take the example of kitchen and dining, the bomb site we're seeing right now, arguably one could make the argument that that bar would have been a stronger pick as the first bomb site, but then you never know. Chalet is one of those few maps where all of the bomb sites don't really have a major difference in the amount of times they are picked. A major difference would be something like bar and stock on Clubhouse, which is almost never picked, except for like yesterday or day before yesterday, where if I'm not wrong, in the Polish Masters it was picked by some team. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what was the result. But yeah, like I was saying, so bar and stock is almost never picked. However, in this case, in the case of Chalet, almost all of the bomb sites are played quite frequently. This allows a lot of freedom for the defenders. They can prepare all of the bomb sites in their strat sessions and in their scrims. They can make sure they're on point. Whereas for the attackers, it gives them a more a more neutral, a more generic operator composition. You have to be able to adapt to each and every bomb site that you will be playing. So you don't know which bomb site the opponents are going to pick, and that's why you have to prepare for all of them. And that's why I think on Chalet, at least on the attacking side, we don't get to see a lot of diversity in terms of the operator compositions. It's the regular squad that is always there. Even in this case, you've got Ash, Zofia, you've got the IQ as well, an operator which doesn't get to see a lot of play. I mean, she's still frequently picked here and there, but in this match, looks like both of the teams are, really trying to use the IQ to find a lot of kills and to try and find a lot of wins. And well, of course, gadgets for their side is already Machine Soldiers Academy. They found a kill. That's Bobby Boy gone off the board.
Yeah, they've taken swift control of this top floor, and obviously, like we said on Villa, for the kitchen dining bomb site, there's a lot of vertical play and C4 potential. We hear one of those C4s go out from Fallen, as Sice in return, breaching charges above the floor, removes the bandit batteries from above, on the dining wall. So it's going to be Ruby's job to open up that dining wall, but Creeds may have something to say about it, as he is lurking down the fireplace stairs. Svebo, he's on the top of these trophy stairs on the other side of the map, looking to meet engagement with Matt to the bottom of those stairs. You would fancy the R4C in that engagement at close range, but the Frost with a 1.5 on the 9mm, does pack a punch.
Absolutely, and right now there's another engagement being taken. Dutch is gone off the board. Kjell's disciples, they finally retaliate back, and they say no longer is it going to be the domination from machine soldiers. No, we have something to say about that. Swebu peeking wide, catches Smoke completely off guard, as he's going to be taking another duel towards dining, and before you know it, everyone on the side of machine soldiers has collapsed except for Creed and Fallen, the two German brothers. But right now their allegiance is going to go down. It's all down to Fallen. He peeks wide, he catches the person planting the diffuser, but that is his end as well. Kjell's disciples, after suffering the first casualty, they retaliate back. They make sure that the round doesn't go out of their hands, and this was yet another nice execution. You know, they entered towards Solarium, they got the vertical control, then they came down the stairs, and I think that one play from Swebu playing the Ash really swept away the defenders, and that was the chaotic factor that allowed the other attackers to, you know, capitalize on that opportunity.
Yeah, I think we've just seen the weakness of the kitchen dining bomb site right there, is the amount of vertical play that you can utilize. The whole bomb site is destructible from above. Even Trophy and West Main, which are the two exteriors of the bomb site. As we know inside of Siege, to hold a bomb site, you need control of the exterior of the bomb site to establish crossfires, etc. And the vertical control inside of Solarium and Bathroom here, being directly above West Main and Trophy, just really chokes out the defenders. And we saw, what, 3 kills through vertical holes there. That was really well played from Kjell's disciples. They knew that they could exploit the lack of top floor hold from MSE. But whenever I've seen the kitchen bomb site be played, there's a lot of reinforcements and utility invested into holding the master bedroom bathroom area above, because if you lose it, well, we've just seen what happens if you give up control of the top floor. So many angles to worry about as a defender, and there is nowhere to sit on the bomb site. So MSC, they opt not to go back to kitchen dining. A very smart move. They move on to the more primary site for most teams. It will be the master bedroom and office.
And that's the thing about Chalet, right? Especially with both of the first floor bomb sites, you've got kitchen and dining, and then of course you've got bar as well. So you need to be holding second floor. In terms of how bar is held, you know, usually you have the library. I mean, you have library itself, and then you have that entire library corridor where towards the end of library stairs, you know, you usually have a shield paired up with a Vamai that Fallen will be playing right now, and that is always held. If the defenders are even more daring, they can even, you know, try and push up towards Grand Piano and hold that with the shield as well. So there's a lot that goes on towards the second floor holds, and the vertical pressure needs to be put on from the defenders. More so, you need to waste the utility and the time of the attackers. That also plays a bigger factor, as right now Mats, well, he has been spotted with a drone. You have attackers entering from West Main. They are on the hunt. He has the SMG-11 in hand, not the best gun, and unfortunately not the best outcome of that gunfight, as Swebu shortly takes him down. Yet again, the opening, I mean, not yet again, but yeah, this time the opening duel has gone in favor of the attackers. They are gaining swift map control as they quickly dispatched Mats, and now Swebu is moving up Solarium stairs as well. Quick control being taken, and yeah, Machine Soldiers Academy, they are retaliating back as well as they get 2 of their own kills.
Yeah, Kree's down below in car garage. Oh, this could be a run out onto Ruby on the Solarium rappel. The breach has already been opened by the Ash previously into car garage. All Krees needs to do is just run out, but obviously we have the intel that he doesn't, and he finally makes it the play. Down goes the Hibana on the Solarium rappel. The Clash being harassed on the trophy stairs, but Dutch with the play, vaulting the banister onto the Solarium stairs and creeping up behind the player, harassing the Clash. And Bobby Boy is collected on the double window rappel. That's the first round on the defense for MSC. Very, very solid from what I've just seen.
This was a far better showing from their side. They were actively taking the duels. They were actively winning those engagements as well. So they had confidence in their ability to take those gunfights. And right now, well, yet again, we see a first floor bomb site, but not the one we were seeing earlier. In terms of the operators right now, this is quite interesting. Smoke is the only person with a shield. Now, where exactly will the shield be placed? My best guess, and I think the obvious choice would be, like I was saying, at the top of library stairs, paired up with a few Vamai magnets, even a few Jaeger ADSs, as it looks like it's going to be only Jaeger ADSs, because we'll be seeing Nick switch off towards the Echo, trying to use those yokai drones. There was another 6th pick on the side of the attackers as well. So we have the Nomad being brought out from Bobby Boy instead of the IQ. Again, keeping the flanks in check, making sure no runouts take place. As runouts taking place, I'm not sure what would have caused that to happen. Certainly nothing in the previous round. No. But okay, yeah, Kjell's disciples, they want to be covered on all fronts. They want to make sure that, nothing bad happens, and they can solely focus on their attack without the looming threat of of a run out or a late flank. And yeah, again, the second floor hold is there from machine soldiers. They are aware that they want to keep 2F under their control, and that's why we can see a lot of utility being invested towards second floor. Not just reinforcements, but mute jammers and even Melusi banshees, and that is certainly good in of itself. Now the thing is, how long can they hold off the attackers? Because Kjell's disciples, they are prepared for all of this. You have Hibana and Nomad with flash grenades of their own. You have the Sledge with frag grenades. You've got Zofia and Ash with explosive utility. This attacking composition is made to get rid of defender utility. The only question is, how long can machine soldiers hold off the attackers from gaining the inevitable second floor control that they obviously will towards the end?
Match yet again inside of dining behind this table. He will be droned out, and his retreat down the dining hatch is being held from those bullet holes from TGS. So if Mats decides to retreat through that hatch instead of the short corridor, it will be his downfall. Elsewhere, Fallen getting aggressive inside of Solarium shuts down the entry of Svebo, and that's an early pick that MSC have struggled to gather so far in this matchup. So it's good to see them be able to start to take the aggression towards Kjell's disciples rather than just being on the receiving end of it.
Already we can see, machine soldiers, they're holding their front. This Melusi Banshee is surely going to be a real pain, especially with the Ash being taken off the board. Sledge has to use one of his frag grenades to try and dislodge that and, try and destroy that. In the meanwhile, you, of course, you have sides playing the Zofia as well. So a lot of the angles being maintained. However, Mats hasn't been cleared from dining just yet. I'm sure that, I think one air jab would have been placed towards the Solarium stairs, making sure that he doesn't go for any flank whatsoever. As right now, we are seeing, the defenders, they are not giving up any sort of map control. They are still standing strong towards library. They are still holding all of those angles. They want to take gunfights. They want to actively waste as much time as possible. A minute remaining on the clock. Already, Kjell's disciples are struggling just the tiniest bit. Bobby Boy goes for that late round, rotation towards some other place. We are seeing people enter into mezzanine as well. There's the first kill in favor of Kjell's, but a lot of their players are losing HP real fast. The execute needs to come in right now. Fallen is present. He rotates back. Sides is holding the vertical angle. Yes, second floor control has been taken, but at what cost? 35 seconds remain in this action phase. The diffuser needs to go down right now. The yokai drones as well are really going to be a menace. Not to mention the owner of them, Echo, as well, holding this back bomb site towards Bar. Dutch is gone. No more smoke canisters. The retaliation is there from Machine Soldiers Academy as McKee needs to hold his ground. Fallen is there for the rescue. 14 more seconds. The diffuser in the hands of Ruby. Fallen is the only one who can win this round. The diffuser is going down in the corner, safe and sound. Snugly it is being planted. Fallen can do nothing but watch. Yes, he gets one kill in the process, but 40 seconds remain. That is all. He tags the Hibana. He attempts the run out, the risky, the bold, and the unfortunate demise. As he falls to the ground, the hopes of MSC winning this round fall with him.
Very, very close margins for Fallen to bring it into a 1 versus 1. If he killed that Hibana on the vault out the double window, he was into a 1 versus 1, and that's a lot more doable when the remaining player is stuck inside of the bomb site, sorry, rather than retreating outside. And we saw whenever an attacker gets outside with that bomb planted in the default spot inside of Games Room, they can easily cover it from the window, and you've got to make a Hail Mary play to dislodge them from the outdoors. So Kjells on an attacker-sided map, albeit have the first 2 attacks in their pocket. So they've already secured that 4-2 split, but we've seen inside the Invitational, inside of T1, Chalet is one of those maps, like Cosine and Consulate, that slightly leans towards the attackers. So I'm sure this isn't going to bother MSC too much. They should be confident on their offenses on this map as well, because this is their map pick. If you join us for the second map, we are in the second map. It's Chalet. The first map was Kjell's Disciples' pick of Villa. They were able to win it out 7-5. Now we are on map 2 of Chalet. So it's do or die for MSC. Lose this map, they are gone. No more playoffs this season for them inside of ECS, and it's all down to next season. Kjell's Disciples, they topped Open Division. They were the powerhouses of Open, and we've seen inside of ECS, in history, a lot of Open teams have fairy tale runs inside of the playoffs.
Who can forget Shreks and Hobbits? Man, is that a nostalgic trip. I still remember. I think again, the thing is, I don't remember against which team they played. All I remember is it was Shreks and Hobbits. The map was Coastline. I remember it was the playoffs as well. Oh, that was a magical run. That was a magical time as well. But yeah, the thing is, are Kjell's Disciples going to be the successors of Shreks and Hobbits? Or is it going to be one of the more top dog teams in the form of, Jaeger's Academy, Lions Creed, and even Cyberground Academy? Again, I don't know, I butchered their name. Cyberground Gaming Academy, sorry.
Yeah, it's a long one.
It really is. So yeah, is it going to be one of the major teams? Because they certainly are the favourites right now, considering how the previous grand finals went between Jaegers and Lions Creed. The teams from contenders and opens, they have a lot of work to do, especially in these early stages. Once you head on to the semi-finals, to the quarterfinals, then things get even. This is the real test of time, and after all, that is exactly what we are testing for both MSC and Kjell's Disciples. In the meanwhile, let's get back on the play. We've talked a lot about the storyline. Let's mention how this run has been so far in round number 4. The people over at Kjell's, they're getting a lot of map control, and they get 2 very quick kills in rapid succession for themselves. So that is nice. Yet again, Nick, as the smoke player, he's gone off the board. Skibidoo will be looking to take another engagement as well. His teammate helps him out in securing that frag, and already, unfortunately, MSC are just crumbling to the ground. They get 1 kill, but I don't think that's it. Oh, there's the follow-up as well. It's a 2v3. Okay, so you have Creed and Dutch putting in some work, but with a minute on the clock and 3 more attackers on board, I think the diffuser will be planted. Or before that, well, the faces of the defenders will be planted in the ground.
We're going to see Dutch get aggressive yet again up the Solarium stairs, but the UMP just not up to that task of a close range engagement. Beautiful shot up through the holes there from Kreese. Turns the 1 versus 3 into a more doable 1 versus 2. And he has this shield into the red carpet hallway as Sice gets down by a frost mat. Oh no! That's going to put him on 20 HP, and if the task was tall, it just got a lot smaller here for Kreese, as he only needs 1 bullet to down away Sice, as there it goes, the 1 bullet hits, and Sice goes down. Ruby in a 1 versus 1 with Kreese, the 416 carbine, a high kick to it now against the 416. The prone is heard by Ruby, but not able to fight the feet holes. Kreese with a 1 versus 3 in a defense that actually crumbled. I can say that with chest. That defense crumbled from start to almost finish, but Kreese brings it back from the brink.
Alright, okay, we've seen some hero plays right now. I am excited to see what next is in store from Machine Soldiers Academy right now. They have gone off to a good start, and now at the very least it's going to be a 4-2 split. Perhaps, I believe much rather, I think a likable outcome is a 3-3 most likely, but Kjell's Disciples, they need to put up the rounds on board. As Kenny, like you were mentioning, Chalet is going to be favoring the attacker. So it's not just about during your attack how many rounds you win, it's rather also about once you head into the defense, how much of that bleeding can you stop, how much of the rounds can you win, because that is where your team can start to fumble those rounds. That is where you can start to lose, as we just witnessed from MSC. I mean, it was for that clutch from Creed, that 1v3 that helped them secure the round. Otherwise we wouldn't be seeing a 2-2 right now, otherwise we'd be seeing a 3-1. But we are also seeing yet another clash play in place. So a lot of picks of clash. Now, yet again, the bomb site is second floor master bedroom and office. Where exactly would the clash play? I think there is a very, very solid answer. Wherever the attackers come from. If the attackers choose to go for the same, execute coming from Solarium, rappelling on the windows and then, rappelling in, then the clash can play towards the windows, and it is near impossible to get rid of her unless you send someone from below to try and catch her from off guard. Maybe from the floor using the frag grenades, or maybe just pushing up the stairs. If the attackers choose to push office and plant by the half wall, which looks like the outcome right now, well, then Clash can play towards Grand Piano. She has the support of her teammates as well, and I think Nick will try and hold off the attackers for as long as he can.
Yeah, Fallen, this is a really nice setup, I have to say, from MSC. They're utilizing the Clash to what she excels at, is able to funnel away the attackers and give information to her teammates. That's exactly what Fallen can do. He can peek off the information gifted to him by the Clash, and the Clash is now protected by these Wamidis. We see one air jab get eaten up by those discs, and more flashbangs getting eaten up as well, and that's going to mean that Nikki can play slightly safer.
Yeah, and he's still right there, and Fallen gets a bit of HP damage, but still MSC are looking like the better team right now. You can see, because of the map control they have, they can play so freely, and they're just holding these angles. Mats still hasn't been cleared. We have seen him play the same area with the same operator and the same guns time and time again, but no one from Kjell's disciples is taking the fight to him. Rather, they're just holding their ground, and Mats right now, he serves a vital purpose to try and deny the mute jammers being destroyed towards the main office wall, as we see the attackers mounting some pressure. But is it enough? A minute and 15 on the clock. The attackers are pushing in, trying to hold the angles, but the defenders are standing strong. Speaking of people standing, Fallen isn't going to be doing that action real quick. Swebu pushes into the side, confirms the down but not out player, holding the angle. Nikki is trying to hold them off as much as he can, but with the death of Dutch, it means that Machine Gun need to go into active mode. There it is, an excellent backstab from the Ash. Make sure that his team are really going to survive a triple kill for Swebu and the third round for Kjell's disciples, unless Mats has to say something about it. But at the same time, I'm not completely sure. Yeah, he takes the engagement. It's a quick trade, and Kjell's finally get their third.
Wow. An explosive round there, as MSC, their game plan was the stall tactic. And what did Kjell's disciples do to counter that? They just went quick. There's no point just staring at a Clash for a minute, not being able to deal with her, and then being strapped for time, having to plant in the final 10 seconds, and potentially your planter dying to a C4 or whatnot. Kjell's disciples took the initiative and executed for frags with 50 seconds remaining, and that's the perfect way of dealing with a time waste tactic, is just take the fight to the defense. So perfectly played from them. The aggression, the explosiveness on maps like Chalet really excel those kind of play styles, and that's why they are slightly attacker sided, because the map is open enough to allow those aggressive plays, as the defenders do have a lot of angles and crosses to worry about. The exterior window on Piano, for example, this cuts off a lot of rotation. You can see, I can't really angle the spectator, but the window completely cuts off the rotate through office. So if you want to get aggressive, actually, like as we saw Sebo do, push through office, he knows that there's no one inside of office if they clear the half wall area. And his teammate of Sight cleared the Wamai playing the half-wall area, and that was perfectly done. Wow, it's really easy to explain stuff when you're also spectating. So I can just show exactly what I want at what time. That's scintillating.
So we have one color caster saying it's really easy to show stuff while you're spectating, and I'm sure you know the spectator jobs now they're going to go down real quick. All the color casters are just taking the opportunity, but again, all jokes aside, again, Kenny, you know, we've been joking all throughout, but these teams, they've been taking it seriously. You know, they've got their spot on the line. It is do or die for them. As right now, we can see MSC, they've gone for a much more. I'm not really sure. I mean, exactly. Looking at the composition right now, you've got the Pulse yet again on Fallen. You've got the Castle as well. You are trying to actively deny map control towards the attackers, thanks to the Melusi Banshees, thanks to the Mute Jammers, and of course the Castle Barricades as well. So that is one of the main things. But the attackers can still make progress because they have the Sledge Hammer. First of all, then you know you've got Swebu. I was just gonna mention Sides, but now he has been down, but not out. But oh no, he can revive himself, right? Come on, self-revive. Go on, go on. Then
Don't bring back the memories.
That's a dirty joke. Yeah, that's a below the belt joke right there. I'm sure all the Zofia mains are feeling the pressure right now, as all of the members of Kjell's disciples are feeling the pressure as well. Sides is in a down but not out state. Very tough for him to get revived. He will be, as now we move on to a 4v4 scenario. MSC still have a bit of work to do, but it looks like they're on the right path.
Yeah, Diffuser down at the top of Fireplace, obviously, as the rest of Kjell's were just trying to recover sites and recuperate. Somehow Kreese was actually at the top of Fireplace stairs. I don't know if I missed his rotate up there, but that was very, very wormy from him. He managed to keep control of that Diffuser, but not for long. TGS shuts him down. Sight and Ruby on the office balcony are going to be quite pivotal, but Fallen knows of their position. Cardiac Scanner basically spotting out every attacker here, relaying the information. One on the balcony, one on the windows, and one in Fireplace. And that's going to allow Nikki and Mats to play around. But Nikki no more as the frag grenade sends him to heaven. Mats is going to fall back away. Fallen downstairs with a C4 is able to deny plant. And we spoke about the risk of planting with 10 seconds left. Kjell's disciples have only just managed to recover that Diffuser, and the clock hits 20. If they go for a plant on the half wall, Fallen down below could go for the C4, and he is going to go for it, but it might be too late because Kjell's just pushed deep. TGS with a quad, and it's all down to Fallen now, but the hatch is open and Scythe uses the angle against the defense. Fantastically played from Kjell's. They knew that they couldn't plant with a pulse below, so they had to play the frags.
Right, okay, Kjell's disciples, you know what? Fair enough, you've proven yourself, lads. Now the thing is, you're on your defense, just like what was the score with MSC after half number 1 in Villa. The side swap has happened. They have a 2-round lead, but can they keep the lead? And more importantly, can they capitalize off this little momentum that they've had for the past few rounds? You know, I know, Kenny, you're a big fan of psychology, and I'm sure after this 4K, you know, the comms in the Kjell's disciples, you know, call would surely be of happiness and of, you know, hype and all that, because they'd be happy with the performance they've put up so far, and onwards and upwards they'd go from this point forward. So keeping that in mind, it looks like, you know, we've got a special guest with us. Can you hear us, Ebak?
Dun, 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 dun. Hello.
Right, so yeah, a lot of clash plays were happening, and I think that's why Ebak has been summoned.
I missed it.
Yeah,
we saw once on Villa, we saw once on Chalet as well, and I know it feels like Ebak, you have a spiritual connection with Clash. You know, as soon as Clash is played in ECS, you are just you are summoned. You don't arrive, you are summoned by the gods of Rainbow Six. But now that you're here. Yeah, you've been seeing this game for a little while. What do you think of the performance from Kjell's disciples so far, if you have any observations?
Oh, no, I haven't been watching it at all. I have no idea what's going on. I just knew I had to go.
Well, this is the game of Rainbow Six Siege. 5 attackers, 5 defenders. The objective. No worries. I'll take you through it.
Is it map 2 then?
Yes, this is map number 2. This is the pick of Kjell's disciples. Villa was the. No, I'm so
No.
sorry. No. This is the pick of Machine Soldiers Academy. However, Kjell's disciples are currently leading 4-2.
What happened on the previous maps quickly?
So, Villa
It
was the first map 7-5 win for Kjell's, and it was their map pick. MSC, this is their map pick on Chalet, and we've just finished the first half with Kjell's going 4-2 up on the offense.
Okay, so very tense. I'll let you guys keep romping along for a bit, and I'll get accustomed.
Yeah, so MSC, they're doing this Solarium side across take-ish. We've got established inside of Office. Dutch, he's got Solarium control established. The Claymore on the flank, but I'm sure Bobby Boy, he is already down below in Trophy, and he'll be ready at any moment to go up, shoot that Claymore, and spell Disaster. But Disaster could be the C4 from down below, as there it goes, but the timing just isn't there. As little did he know, but Fallen just escaped certain death.
Oh, there's more retaliation from the members over MSC. You know, you have TGS going off as well, and Kjell's disciples, they've not gotten off to the best of starts just yet. And most likely, unless we see some sort of hero play take place from Bobby Boy or sides, or even Ruby, I think this round is done and dusted. There's still plenty of time, about 2 minutes remaining on the clock for MSC to make sure that they conjure up some nice execution, and they can plant the spike, or they can get rid of any one of the defenders playing right here as well. Oh yeah, exactly. I have the same reaction. This is a nice angle. I didn't know about that before. However, another nice angle being put to use from that same hatch. We see yet another one of the defenders drop down to their death. Sides is going to reply back. Ruby as well present in the smoke with the SMG-11. An attacker in front of him. He can deny this. Oh, he knows Nicky's right there, but unfortunate timing as Sides goes into the back room, falls to his demise. MSC, they retaliate back, they counter back, and the score is currently 3-4.
Well, that was encouraging for Machine Soldiers fans, I imagine. Coming in, being told they've been having such a rough time, that was fantastic. Doing it almost flawlessly that round. It's a tough sight to hold on to, especially if you lose men early on for Kjell's, and now they didn't quite see it through in the way that they would have hoped. They're very close, that smoke there as well, to causing a big upset. We were certainly upset given the sounds that especially Kenny made. But Machine Soldiers, they win their first round on the attack, and that's what they need to. They need to take any advantage attackers might have on this map and turn it in their favor to turn the tides. And they're only 1 round behind now.
Yeah, it was a really intriguing attack that I think Kjell's was slightly too spread out for a bomb site of Bar Gaming that heavily relies on just needing to hold library, top blue stairs and top fireplace around the chimney area. You don't need to invest players in the master side. It's good to just shoot drones, waste time a bit and fall back. But as we saw when MSC cleared the shield top blue. Oh, Ebek, you weren't here for it, but it's so nice analyzing when you're also spectating because you can show everything you're saying.
Yeah,
it's great. But yeah, they cleared the shield and killed the player top of blue stairs, and in a 5 versus 3, they could just then trade out there on in, and it was a pretty textbook attack from MSC. They now have to create a textbook attack on a bomb site that they themselves lost twice defending. Oh no, I was mistaken. They should have lost it twice, but for a 1 versus 3 from this man, Creeds.
Right then, so round number 8, MSC, they just can close the gap very, very quickly. They can make sure that both the teams are on neutral ground. And for that reason, I think they'll be putting on a good show. But the question is, I was just gonna say, Kjell's disciples, they could start to be aggressive right out of the gate. Unfortunately for TGS, that doesn't pan out just quite well. Already a man down, and with possibly more to follow, as MSC are the ones leading the charge right now. Second floor control has been taken. They are now looking to engage in vertical play as well towards dining. Finally, Kjell's disciples come to senses. They get a kill. They get rid of Creed right now. So the Jackal is gone. However, at what cost? You have 2 people remaining on board, and certainly none of them can pull this big of a clutch, as now yet again it all falls down to Bobby Boy.
Refrags always in the favor of machine soldiers, just coming out on top time after time. It seems I'm their good luck charm because they've looked completely on top as far as I'm aware so far this game. It's what they need though, being those 2 rounds down, not anymore. Back even, Kenny.
I have to say that MSE just look completely different on the offense.
Maybe tell Mats that I'm here now so he can start playing properly.
Sorry, I can't talk and type.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Yeah, so MSE just have looked completely different on the offense. They obviously picked this map for a reason. I said during the end of Villa that MSE obviously picking Chalet out of all the possibilities. If you don't know, the map veto system inside a best of 3 goes ban pick ban decider. So you have the option of 4 maps to choose from, and MSE wanted to go to Chalet. Their defenses, I think, looked weak, but I mean, they have just turned up the heat going on the offense. They obviously know how to attack this map. As we've said, it does tend towards being attacker-sided, but MSE have shown it being completely attacker-sided in these first 2 offenses. They've given Kjell's Disciples no space, nothing to work with, because as you said, Ebac, the refrags from MSE have just been on point.
Right, so at the moment, unfortunately, there isn't a lot to play for Kjell's Disciples. You know, they've tried everything, but at the moment, they cannot find the secret sauce of success. They cannot seem to know what is working for them. No, look, I'm gonna be honest, Evac. I'm more of a mustard man. Look, no matter what you're eating, no, come on, mustard is far better. Tomato ketchup is what basic people eat. I'm sorry, even though it's acidic in nature, basic people eat ketchup. All right, mustard is the more
DCV, mustard man.
Yeah, sure. You know what? Hey, I'm all for it, but. All right, yeah, at the moment, Kjell's Disciples. Okay, so this is still yet again a place where they can, outshine their opponents. Not any longer. Swebu down to about 10 HP. The thing is, this is exactly what was happening on Villa. The only thing is, the teams have been swapped right now. Back then, Machine Soldiers Academy, they had a 4-2 lead heading into the second half, but then their opponents came back. Yet, apart from that, round number 9 went in favor of Machine Soldiers. So, going by history, this should go in favor of Kjell's Disciples. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what's happening. 3 kills in their favor, a possible flawless round.
Very much so in their hands right now. Nikki and Creed will decide Machine Soldier's fate. Low health for the Jackal will not help, but the C7E will, despite its recent changes, still in full control of it. Creed's. He is a bit of a frag maniac, no exception today, but now it's down to Nikki as a bit of over-aggression from the Jackal leaves that thermite behind. Febo on low health alongside his teammates. He's been taken out by one of them from underneath. Bit bizarre. It's given Nikki a little way in here, hasn't it, Kenny?
Yeah, that's Nikki. Well, I was about to say first on the ball, but he didn't get the kill because he was teammate C4. And Ruby, he doesn't care because the C4 he made, killing his teammate, earns himself a kill. So Ruby really wanting to pad his stats this ECS season.
I think they went for a bit of a spread push there, Machine Soldiers, and they got a bit caught out because they were slightly too isolated in their move, trying to do too much at once and getting caught out in each individual area, unfortunately. Not quite being there for the refrag support like we were praising just earlier, just not quite close enough to each other for, you know, the 3-second rule. I'm not talking about dropping your food on the floor, I'm talking about supporting your fellow men.
I think that... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, and if it is a sandwich containing ketchup, you best believe that the food stays on the floor and shouldn't be picked up. But no, continue, Kenny. Continue. Yeah.
Oh, I've missed PCV. We haven't casted together in like 5 months at the very
With the both of you, okay, yeah, with Ebac it has been far longer, but with Kenny as well, we were discussing this earlier, that the last broadcast Kenny and I had was at the start of either this season or the previous season, yeah.
I don't think I've casted with you in ECS. it was EG.
You know what?
my
I think no,
word.
maybe once or twice. I don't know actually. Oh God.
I don't think
Oh
so.
man. Yeah, it has been a
Remember
while.
that. I keep notes of lots of weird things like that.
Yeah, again, if you're thinking about nostalgia, I think all three of us right now, we were there since it was EG, right? I think all three
Yeah.
of us, including Elderbrain as well, I think us four were included. Or was there anyone else as well that I'm forgetting?
Well, who survived on the current?
So,
Survived.
this is the
I
Hunger
mean,
Games after all.
Jerry's
Every
off
day.
too. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
We've had. There's been no Whippet this season, so I don't know. A lot of
No,
people.
Whippet and Tudos were there before us as well. They were there like since the start. I'm thinking about people who came in just at the same time as us as well.
I don't know. I think Science and Dan and Co were all around before.
Yeah.
Not sure. Anywho,
I know Noah
early
was.
round.
Yeah.
Science
Oh, there's a
getting
game
the better of the
on.
Jackal.
Oh, there's a game. I thought this was a podcast.
Podcast about ketchup and mustard.
Yeah.
That would be banging. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Yeah, continue. Yeah.
Oh, Mats is caught off by Scythes there, just looking away at the wrong time. Scythes on a tear so far this map, and unfortunate for him, he looks away at the wrong time himself, as that is actually Dutch, as I cycle through the members of MSC. It is Dutch on the bottom of West Main. The cam is down. Svebo could catch him off from short here. He's going to creep up behind Scythes as now Fallen gets a frag kill from the bathroom window. He may need a second, but Scythes, he is in a tricky spot. The player on the Solarium Repel is cutting off his rotate, and all he needs is another one of those frag grenades, or even an impact from below coming from Dutch. He's going to spot the Jaeger, go to shoot the cam first. 10 points on the board there for Dutch before the headshot onto Scythes.
3 versus 5, you blink. 3 versus 2. Very effective attacking from Machine Soldiers without really too much ingress. 2 players still outside, but good intel nevertheless. Nicky knows the position of the Jaeger. It's called out. Dutch comes along and takes it nice and easy. Great teamwork to keep themselves in this round and potentially in this game. 1 minute remaining for this round in particular. They've got to deal with Ruby and TGS, are we calling him?
Yes, TGS.
Yeah.
Yeah, TGS. Okay.
Ooh.
Well, he's standing and he's taken down Fallen. Oh, but is refragged very quickly by Dutch, who survives on a fraction of health. But his planter's down, and it's just down to the 1 versus 1. Dutch, no! A spin from the smoke sees him down, and a very great comeback from Machine Soldiers, absolutely nullified.
Boy, was that a round? And I think I don't know what to say about that round. You know, I don't know. The best way to describe this round would be what's the boxing event happening right now. You know, no one knows who's playing. All we know is bodies are going to be dropped. That's exactly what happened here. No one knew what was happening. Just bodies were dropping left, right, and center. However, Kjell's disciples, they still keep the lead and they get match point and series point. That's the bigger thing. Machine Soldiers, they are on such a back foot right now. Ever since the second half started, yes, they retaliated early on. However, that push, that momentum has really been stunted ever since Kjell started putting up kills on board, ever since, you know, they were the ones who were starting to get frags for their team. And now Machine Soldiers find themselves at a point of which they need to win 2 rounds consecutively. Even after that, going into overtime, there is still no confirmation that Machine Soldiers will be going. Even if they win into overtime, guess what? We have the decider map. So there is a lot in the road for them. As yeah, this is exactly what would be happening with their minds right now, just constantly spinning with no sense of direction whatsoever.
My question, guys, is how has this bottom floor been so far recently?
We have
We
not
haven't seen
seen. This is the first defense of the basement. MSC banned away the Cade, which is probably the reason why we haven't seen the basement yet. But I think, obviously, Kjell's disciples not opting to go for the tertiary site. No, they didn't want to go back to Bar, which was quite a definitive loss for them. Attempting the basement, I think that's smart because they've noticed MSC are only bringing the single hard breach of Nicky on the Thermite, which means that they are only going to be able to open up either the wine cellar, the long wall, or the sidewall. They can't establish any control on the snowmobile garage. And I just realised there is a round going on. We're not in the prep phase, so I probably should look at what's going on. And that's what's going on. Kreese gets the opening kill.
He does. He's trying to finish it off with the ITA. He gets that kill onto Svebo. I don't know. Svebo. Yeah. Okay. Well, he's taken out on the Vigil. That roaming player is just absolutely no use. The clash is in play this round, so at least I've got some to be seen, but it's going to be tough for Kjells because clash is great with a man advantage. Well, exceptionally better, pretty decent with equal men. Down in men, not fantastic, but she is facing down Creed right now, who really doesn't have too many options to deal with that particular operator. But a lot of attention drawn. That's the thing. If Clash is going around with somebody in tow, it means there's only 2 other players to hold the entire rest of the site, and there's so many angles here on the basement for the attackers to exploit.
At the moment, yeah, the defenders, they've gained back this library stairs area as the attackers were busy focusing on the main breach. But that has been a success for machine soldiers. They have one more avenue with which they can start expanding. They have another avenue with which they can start executing in before this clash is really becoming a menace for Creed. His HP, we last saw it at like 95. It's now down to 55. But you look at the HP on the defenders, it's not all too well either. Skibu and Ruby both down, you know, none. You have Sides as well on 50, Bobby Boy with 25. This looks like a round which is going to go in favor of machine soldiers as we see a very, very nice frag grenade kill. And again, we are entering the final stages of the round. TGS and Bobby, they can do their best to counter. However, with the diffuser being planted just right now, there isn't much to be done. A flawless victory and a much needed victory from Machine Soldiers Academy.
Way to answer back after being match point against you for the first time. They still have one more round with that series point looming above them, but a flawless on a brand new site. They're showing that they can attack down there. They can attack on bar as well, which Kjells have been avoiding. So where are they going to go now? They're going to go to that very successful kitchen and dining where machine soldiers, we spoke about last time, they split up a bit too much, lost their early individual fights, weren't there for the refrags, and that pretty much spelled doom immediately for them. A slight adjustment, a different plan to execute. They are back in this for overtime, but it is now or never from the machine soldiers.
I was just about to say, I would love a Hibana over the Thermite because they know they're going kitchen dining and the Thermite is useless for the kitchen dining take, but the Hibana is tremendous for the kitchen dining take. So well done, Nikki.
Why is that, Kenny?
Well,
tell us, please.
if you're aiming for a dining take, you only need to open up a sight line in this wall, and because Ace is banned, Hibana is better for that. You don't want to give the ability for the retake potential for the defense out into top fireplace, because obviously you need to have control of all of fireplace if you want to plant behind the dining table here in the default position. So just having a Hibana head height hole in the left hand side wall gives you control of office, and if there's no vertical presence, then you can't deny the plant from above, which means the plant denial has to come from inside the site. You can obviously open up the site wall with the remaining X-Kairos and maybe open up this side wall, or even a reinforcement which should go here on the red carpet wall, which I call it. But there's 101 and there's a heavy roam presence from Kjell's disciples. They know that there's obviously a lot of destructible floor above this bomb site, as we spoke about earlier on when MSC themselves defended this site. So they want to stem and stop that vertical play from happening.
And in terms of doing so, you know, they are really countering all the measures being taken from the attackers to try and go for the kills. However, that's a quick trade to make sure that the Hibana of all attackers is gone off the board. With her, the diffuser has been dropped in T9 as well. This speaks a trouble to the members over at Machine Soldiers. A change of plan, a change of priorities, as they'll be looking to prioritize getting kills right now and somehow getting their foot into the bomb site. But perhaps maybe getting rid of the roamers would be a better plan, as there goes TGS and there goes another kill. Before you know it, two-man advantage for Machine Soldiers Academy, and we may just be heading into an overtime after all.
Oh, was about to say, there's so many players in close proximity there to each other. Creed's in a risky position to be caught off, but takes the kill and back off. Dutch picks up one as well. One player left. It's Ruby right in the back of the site. He has to get aggressive to find the first, maybe even the second, but none he gets. Shut down by Dutch yet again. Fantastic fragging play from the man so far this game, at least statistically. I've been here for a bit of it, and he's done a pretty fine job. Machine Soldiers, they equalize what Kjell's offered. 4-2 for them on their attacking side, which gives us all the way, well, takes us all the way to overtime.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. And obviously, MSC, their map pick, they chose the overtime side, and it will be the offense, their choice. And the offense is 8-4 right now in terms of round count, so it is the favorable side. And MSC having those 2 attacks in overtime at the most to Kjell's 1 could be the deciding factor, because they have to attack onto Master, and it's been a pretty successful defense actually for Kjell's. MSC have attacked this bomb site once and lost it. Kjell's never returned to it, so it's going to be quite a task between these two.
We all can presume so, and at the moment, well, I think that is the question, because Machine Soldiers, they are fighting for dear life right now. You know, Kjell's Disciples, they still have the cushion of another map, even if they lose on the map of Chalet, which I don't think they'd like to. You know, they've built up such a good lead, they had the match point as well. On overtime, their opponents have been gifted a second chance, but they can shut it down very, very quickly, as they have been to a lot of their attacks. So with all of that being said and done, the action phase is starting. Yet another case where we are seeing, the thermite being picked. In this case, my question is, what kind of an execute is it going to be? Are the attackers focusing more towards Solarium and they want to open up towards the bedroom side and then plant fire there? Or are they looking to open up office and plant by the half wall? I guess it is up to Machine Soldiers Academy to answer that question. As in the meanwhile, we'll be looking at Dutch just moving up the stairs, going up the floors, clearing all the rumors, as the Melusi, that is Swebu, has been spotted. This may be an easy kill. He knows about the Melusi, goes for the shots, but the Melusi is the smarter of that bunch.
No way does the Melusi win out that fight. So close, dropping in front of Dutch. What an impactful player to wipe off the board as well. Utility gone, weapon gone, an important man for Machine Soldiers. Clutch-wise, so many important kills in these late rounds that we've seen. Thankfully, there is an eventual refrag from Fallen, stepping up when his team needs it most. Man count equalized, still a long way to go, but they've taken a lot of ground within this first minute or so, pushing, I believe, all of the players of the defensive side back to the site, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you aren't mistaken at all, Ebac. Very, very good knowledge there. And Bobby Boy, he has sat on his own vertical hole, and Matt, he goes down below to remove those bandit batteries, but he's met with a gun instead. Very neat Valk cam. And oh, TGS goes for the C4, but Nikki is up to the task, and Creed adds on from the bathroom balcony. Nikki with a beautiful thermite trick, getting rid of the batteries, but now he's going to be very exposed, opening up that wall into sight. His tippy toes if he doesn't open up the far left hand side wall, which is his positioning of choice is very smart, and his tippy toes will not be shot as Jackal's on the board. Speaking about toes,
Go on.
2 players remain, but it's Bobby Boy who is the one who equalizes the count. Now 2 for both. 45 seconds left. That's good for Machine Soldiers. They have a lot of time to work with, figure out exactly where these players are and how to take these individual engagements. Pushing through the smoke, very low on health. Nikki taking a big risk. It does mean if he has to jump off this diffuser late, he's in a weak position, but he finds the kill himself. Now it's Ruby. He's the only man standing in resistance and is taken down. I can't quite make out who that is by the supporting player. Fantastic play from Machine Soldiers.
All right, now
My feed is
instead
a
of
little blurry. I can't see.
I will go ahead, CC. I will.
Yeah, no.
Come
I'm
to the
just
rescue.
thinking at the moment that Machine Soldiers Academy, they are in the strong position right now. All they need is another round. Kjell's disciples, it is them who are in that pressure. Because if we bring our attention over to a few rounds back, where the score was 6-4, round number 11, Machine Soldiers needed to put up rounds on board in order to secure overtime. But they did, and they went above and beyond, securing match point, but for themselves. That is one of the reasons why Kjell's disciples they've been struggling. Most likely, I think I don't think there's a sentence just yet that excites me and it horrifies me at the same time than saying we'll be going to the decider map of Oregon. Man, is that a mix of emotions right now. I am really happy it's a decider map, but then again, it's Oregon. But fret not.
Uh,
Perhaps Kjell's disciples can, finish this quickly if they are up to the task. In the meanwhile, they'll be starting on their attack yet again. This time they have brought out the Hibana instead of the Thermite, but otherwise, yeah, you have Bobby Boy on the IQ as well. It's a very similar attack. It's a very similar defensive composition as well. The only thing is on second floor, and yet again we are seeing Nikki play the Clash.
I was about to ask where we were going next. It's good to know. Oregon. But it's tough to separate these teams even well, on any map, really. Especially Oregon. I've seen Machine Soldiers be incredibly effective there in the past. Same with Kjell as well. Not quite against the same opposition, though. I've seen them rocket against open division teams, but Machine Soldiers, they will be majors next season. They've already guaranteed that throughout the
Ooh.
league season. So it's what are you doing at? Oh, that rotate. Wow.
No, I was doing MSC being in majors next season.
Yeah, they qualified in second, so they are
Lovely stuff.
guaranteed through. Because there's no relegation matches this season.
Ooh, someone's gonna go boom.
They might do. We've also got a clash, by the way, so good job.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Come on, jump in the window. No! IQ shot it! God, my fun!
It's as if that's her utility. Spots out where electronic gadgets are. She's found the C4 and she has dealt with it accordingly, which means backing away for Creed's on very little health, but at least he stays alive. He can prove crucial late on. We saw the Thermite in the last round be on very low health, Nikki, but he still manages to win out the fight and help. So being back there for those crossfires later on will be fantastic, especially in support of Nikki, who is holding a very aggressive position in the corridor. He has the support of those magnets. It's going to be very tough to flush this clash back.
That's the thing. The attackers, they have to deal with the Clash and Wamai combo. This rotate from the side of Machine Soldiers, it is really quite unique and it is favoring them. Right now, they do retaliate and okay, they've done a good job. Fallen, Creed, both of them on extremely little HP. However, they can still pull off insane plays as we have seen already. So, Bobby Boy, he's holding the cross right now.
Excuse me, waiter. I would like a Clash and Wamai combo with some mustard, please.
No, that's okay. And I was trying to think of a
Kenny,
comeback,
save us!
but there's no saving Machine Soldiers right now. Yeah, Fallen as well. Oh, this is a flawless round, mind you. And okay, in all of our fun, Kjell's disciples, well, they were having their own fun as well, as they just completely obliterate, and make make a puree of their opponents, and that's a tomato pun. No, I have to think of something better.
Well,
overtime final series point is certainly very saucy, Kenny.
man, a 7-7 on Chalet. Round 15 is all I could have asked for returning to ECS because, boy, I love this map. Kjells are throwing the textbook away. They don't care about what they've learnt because the Rook Doc combo, the year one power duo of the ACOG extraordinaire, is no longer because we're sick to pick to Agoya. Thank you, TGS.
But also Bar Gaming as a site. Is that not alarms going off?
Yeah, so I was going to point on that as well. MSC attacked it once, won it once in regulation, and that was pretty convincing. So I worry for Kjell's here. This is as we've seen throughout other tiers of Siege, Bar Gaming is quite the favourable, as if the primary bomb site for most teams. So it's been strange to me that it's had such a low win rate so far, but I think that's just testament to these two teams being able to attack it so proficiently.
It's tricky though. I feel like a lot can go wrong with one of these defenses, and you need to be really you need to have synergy as a team to make sure that you're all in the right places and you can rely on the players in the choke positions who really do come to most impact. So that could be a big part of why maybe at some of the lower levels it can be a bit of an issue. Definitely, those have been the problems for Kjell so far. Now is the time to turn it around and seal this win now. Make sure that we don't have to go to Oregon. Take the 2-0 win. Otherwise, you're giving Machine Soldiers a really good bit of impetus as well. It's that motivational factor that they've come back from defeat and now they can win.
Yeah, and if there's anyone who can talk a lot about psychology and the effects it has, it's me. Of course, I'm the master. No, okay, but I'm sure Kenny will have something to say about that. Okay, in the meanwhile, you know what? Okay, I think right now the time for jokes is over. Right now, it is all serious faces for all of us and for
I
all
never
of the
agreed to
teams as
this.
well. But okay, yeah, machine soldiers, they're going for the attack, they're going for the roam clear, making sure no one stays on board. Bobby Boy, in the meanwhile, I think he'll be spotted by one of the drones coming upstairs, and yeah, his location is known by the sound cue, and with him destroying the drone as well. So this is going to be a quick retract mission from him, as he needs to retreat back to site,
Look at the
helping his
stairs!
fellow teammates.
Sorry, I just wanted him to look at the stairs because there's a jackal on the stairs. But elsewhere, Nicky has opened up the office wall and he's going to start burning these ADSs at the top of the blue stairs. It will be Dutch to clear that shield with his Zafia lifeline. And actually, no, it's Matt's to do the task. Svevo swinging wide on the chimney. He is shut down by Nicky. Only his 4th kill so far, but a really important one at that. Elsewhere, Bobby Boy takes an engagement inside of dining underneath the Jackal scan. Outside a mud window, he will be shot at, but nothing too fatal as of yet. Dutch pushing down the blue stairs. Scythe, he gets caught on his teammate and gets caught off guard. Dutch, he puts his team in the driver's seat for this round and to take map 2 of Chalet and to send us to map 3 of Oregon. It's a 1 versus 5 now for Ruby, and down he goes. MSE send us to Oregon to decide who moves on in the playoffs and who will go home. And what better map that all 3 casters of us love? Oregon.
I do love a bit of Oregon. It's a good romp, especially when it is at its most competitive, and where better than a 1-all in terms of maps in a best of 3, having gone the full distance the map before. Standout performances from I saw everybody within the second half of that map have a moment or two, but big focus on Dutch, I would like to draw in particular, for getting those impact kills and just finding their way in. It was great efficiency on that bar attack yet again, absolutely sweeping their opposition. Me oh my, what have we got up next?
We are going to have a little break just while I figure out all my things that I need to do for the production side. Because you are currently looking at my face and CCV's face. But we are going to head to a break, so roughly 5 minutes as we give the team slightly longer break just to collect themselves before map 3. Wow. See you in a bit. Welcome back,
What?
everyone.
Alright, alright, yeah. It's the
Well,
exact time. Alright, but yeah, again, we are here to the decider map of this best of three between Machine Soldiers Academy and Kjell's Disciples. We've gone through Villa, we have gone through Chalet, we now end our journey on the North American soil of Oregon. A soil which has seen a lot of gameplay, a soil which has seen a lot of gameplay. Did I mention we have seen a lot of Oregon? I didn't, right? I'll mention again. We have
Might have
seen a lot of Oregon.
Yeah, tiny bit. Anywho, we're starting off with the bans. This is one of the most impactful things on a rigid map like Oregon is what can you do with those operator bans? Well, you can go for the most standard of the two to start off with, Thatcher and Maverick. Breaching the standard going to be a lot harder, but the defensive ones have a little bit of freedom. You imagine the Kaid's gone just because of how things work. There's been a bit of debate between the teams in the chat before the game started as to whether they're going to ban Cav or not. I'm waiting to see. It's not. It's a Kaid. At least there's one free. Will that be a Mira? Who am I? What are you thinking, Kenny?
I think the one my ban is pretty standard on a map like Oregon. We see the hole inside of elbow or attic be just exponentially harder to deal with when a one is on the board, but a Valkyrie or a Mirror would not be out of place, and it will be our Spanish love of the Mirror gone. So Wamai on the board. That means these defenses. These defenses should be pretty solid, especially with Maverick off the board, so that's 2 less nades in your lineup. And Wamai being available, this Oregon could be heavily defender-sided. And just to point out at the start, Kjell's not only start on defense in regulation, in overtime if we need it, they also start on the defense.
Well, we did go all the way there on Chalet. Apologies. It is definitely possible here. As Oregon, it's one of those where, at least historically, it does go the distance the majority of the time because teams are relatively even. If we've got an attacker-sided Oregon, which does happen coming out, it's generally quite even either way. Same defensively. It does usually come down to that final round or two, or maybe even overtime. So I would not be surprised to see that. And that maybe is that ever so slight Kjell's advantage if their defenses are to be as strong as you would expect. But we're starting with a nice spread attacking lineup for the top floor in particular. Machine Soldiers, they brought along that Capital to help aid those plants. And the Iana as well, giving a bit of context, a bit of intel onto what they might be facing, as well as any projectiles. They've got a lot to counter what Kjell's are offering. The only one that might be a bit of a question mark is towards that Valkyrie that Kjell's have brought along.
Speaking of the Valkyrie, yet again, we saw a lot of Valkyrie plays towards, so in Villa as well, a lot of Black Eye placements, and I think we saw her for a tad bit during Chalet as well. I cannot recall it correctly. But yeah, Villa saw a lot of Valk presence as right now, well, we'll be moving towards round number 1. The attackers are ready. The bomb site is going to be second floor master bedroom, and kids. Everything is set essentially for this game. The stakes could not be higher. The storyline is quite simple, but however, that doesn't mean that the stakes aren't quite high. The team that wins moves on. The team that loses, well, they move on from this tournament on towards their journey back to home. Right now, that was risky from Swebu. However, it still did not pay off. He has the Black Eye in place. He sees Iana drop down, and he can try to go for the kills, but right now the attackers, well, they are more focused on getting rid of the mute jammer and trying to open up the bomb site.
Yes, it will be. Sorry, I was on a word on my own there. Svevo, he's flanking through Zulu, and he wants to stop Mats from getting control inside of Classroom and removing that mute jammer. But Creeds is there to hold the flank from inside of Garage. So a few of the... Oh, an impact trick. TGS with the impacts on Wamai. His impact tricked all but all of the ex-Kairos, and that has completely thrown the MSC attack off. You see all of them rotating towards out big window all white stairs, apart from Fallen, who is the lone man inside of Trophy. They do have the man advantage, though. 2 men to the good here, MSE. But they have to attack top floor Oregon with no hard breach. They're just going to have to jump in the double window or frag out from inside of Trophy. Exactly what Fallen's doing, but he's traded away by Bobby Boy. And TGS inside of Kids is going to be the first man to stop this big window push.
Pressure on this Wamai. Oh, it wasn't him, it was Bobby Boy getting a lovely smoke bang with the SMG-11 and a C4 as well. 2 versus 2 now. TGS and Bobby Boy just holding on for dear life. 45 seconds left. Matt, he's got coverage for the plant, but no longer. Another kill. It's a quad for Bobby Boy. He's eyeing up the ace, and he gets it. What a comeback from Kjell's disciples. But Bobby Boy is the man of the moment, really stepping up there.
Bobby Boy, more like Bobby Man, as he stepped up to the plateau and made sure, well, his team would be winning the round back then. And well, that's exactly what happened. On very little HP, and he still got the final 2 kills. You know, when I saw that 2v2 scenario with Bobby on, like, what, 5 health points, 10 health points, I was like, oh no, Machine Soldiers Academy, they've gone off with this round. It will be a very, very easy dink, and that'll be about it. But no. There can be bumps in the road as well. As Machine Soldiers, they know a lot of work has to be done. For the side of Kjell's disciples, well, things are looking quite good. TGS, you know, we can see him playing a lot of operators, you know, ever since Kate has been banned. This man needs to find a purpose in life. I know Kate was banned in Chalet as well. Kate has been banned right now. I don't know, it just feels like, I think I can feel the pain of TGS. It's like right before an exam takes place and you have prepared nothing, you don't know what to do. You just do whatever comes to mind. That's exactly what TGS has been doing. But I'm sure his team, you know, they have a strat in place, regardless of what it may be. And so far, it has been working, albeit only 1 round has occurred, only 1 round has taken place. We'll be moving on to the second. The bomb site now from second floor, from the heights of second floor, we go down to the depths of basement, laundry, and
there's not 3 bomb sites. This isn't Valorant.
No.
See, I don't know if you've noticed, CCV. You've called the diffuser the spike multiple times. Yeah, you've called it the spike.
Oh my God. Look, before every single broadcast, I talk to myself in the mirror. Diffuser, spike. Disable the diffuser, diffuse the spike. I still mess it up. Trust me. During Valorant as well, the same thing. I see it so many times. I really apologize for that. But okay, yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to round number 2.
Yeah, let's get on straight into the action. That's what Machine Soldiers will be hoping for. A nice quick insert. They're doing a top-down looks of things, nice and clean. Creed's already making ingress towards Freezer. Svebo just a bit lonely over there by rear stage, waiting for any free kill. He's not going to get one. TGS, by the way, if you are lost for operators, Clash is always there for you. Don't worry. Works great in tandem with that one, but she's not opted for on this bottom floor site. They've gone pretty loose with operators. There's a lot of them being very helpful late on in the round. They're walking in towards those very delaying things, those things that can really hurt you late on. Smoke canisters, banshees, the Grismots in particular, going to be a real nightmare when it comes close.
Something
it's
happened.
Machine Soldier's job to make sure that it doesn't get close. They want to just take out everyone before they even have to get in. There's the first down, and almost eyeing up a second there, Fallen, but he won't get it for now.
Yeah, as Oregon as a spectator in the first minute and a half is very exciting because no one does anything. But Nicky has finally found himself in the building, and the frag grenade gets expended towards the freezer lockers, but TGS there from Highway nets the headshot onto the Hibana. Not a big loss as she's already utilized her utility. Fallen gets one, but quickly traded away there by the Ella shotgun, the ever-present menace. And Dutch, he finally trades away Svebo. The Wamai disc is going to catch that fire arrow, and the smoke canister perfectly placed there from Ruby. Mats finds himself in the exterior of the bomb site, taken down, but TGS traded away by that fire arrow. Leaves it all on Ruby with 2 players funneled inside of the laundry connector. Dutch taking a lot of damage yet again from a smoke canister, but he makes his way through his own smoke. Creeds, he has the task to cover. Dutch has the task of planting, and Ruby, positioned inside of Freezer, could deny this if placed correctly, but Creeds is there with the headshot. Ruby goes down, and MSC do get the attack that they obviously felt they should have deserved on the first round.
Wow, trades everywhere midway through. Machine Soldiers with that first pick. It's good for them. They can just continue their way through with that ever so slight advantage, and they turned that 2-1 into a 2-0. 1-all on the scoreboard. Those are some good numbers for Machine Soldiers. They finally made sure, like, given their breaching problems last time around, that was one of the main issues. They had no pressure on one side of the site. This time, they had a bit of split pressure. Not too much. They didn't push too much from the north side in particular, but the resistance they had straight on really wasn't as hefty as it could have been. And you know what? With actually that particular setup, I wouldn't be surprised if Kjell's brought out the Clash here. Not just because I love Clash and she's very good here, but because very specifically for the attack we saw Machine Soldiers do, that would be a perfect adjustment. It is not what we're seeing, despite the reattempt.
Supply room. That was what I was struggling with in the preparation phase of the previous round. I thought to myself, what is the bomb site called? It was called laundry, and I finally realized supply room. That was the name. Man, that take a lot longer than I expected. It was really a eureka moment, you know. Supply room. That's what the name is. But okay, for the side of Kjell's disciples, they've retaliated back. They have answered back to what Machine Soldiers have been doing. And right now, you know, we are seeing the Captor in place as well, the hard breach device with him. So a lot of methods of entry, you know, with Hibana being brought out and, you know, with the recent changes made to her gadget, you can almost expect all of the hatches to be open. However, are Machine Soldiers looking to do that? Are they planning on getting bunker control and then opening a bunker? Certainly that looks like one of their own strategies. Right now we have Fallen spots one of the defenders towards pillars. Mats is there to help him out as well. As in the meanwhile, yeah, Machine Soldiers, they're really getting yet again, you know, that northeastern map control ready. They want to pressurize from tower stairs. They want to pressurize from bunker as well. As Dutch takes his place, he goes to the cover fire on towards, I believe that's Bobby Boy playing towards the pillars. The arrow comes out as well, but Bobby Boy lands a very sweet shot, getting rid of the capital, getting rid of one side of that double pincer attack.
He back?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So it's me and Creed's moving on into the next phase of things. He's going to be pushing down the T1 stairs, hopefully get that frag on Jaeger, but his teammate falls elsewhere. Fallen goes down, trying to push out the elbow player. Mats finally gets a refrag and an answer to the absolute destruction that Kjells are exhibiting here. And it just gets worse as Bobby Boy, 7-1 in the first 3 rounds, is on an absolute tear. Mats is going to be the next one to try and take him down, but on very low HP, that is a tall order. He does have that 1.5 scope to be able to take this engagement against Bobby Boy. Bobby Boy with the peak, neither player able to land the shots, but it doesn't matter what engagement Bobby Boy takes. It doesn't matter if there's a player on the T1 stairs and he's being pinched by blue. He will still win the gunfight. And Mats is all alone now. 1 minute 4 left on the clock as it ticks down. And 1v4 in his hands.
Bar some heroics for Mats, it does seem a round taken for Kjell. He'll try his hardest and he may achieve it. But that being said, Kjell's Disciples, great adjustment this round. We saw Machine Soldiers do a completely different attack to what they did last time, and I was about to praise it. I was sitting there thinking, this is good, this is smart from them, not doing the same thing, mixing it up a bit. But one too many players pushing solo down rear stage, going to that north tower position and walking straight into the arms of Bobby Boy, absolutely piping hot inside of Boiler, and now Mats. He's given his position away. There's very little he can do here. There's C4s, there's all sorts being ripped, obviously, for the sound cue in his position. Mats could swing, but there's no way with the Jaeger holding the side angle. It's a matter of, is Mats going to take 1 or 2 with him for KD? He does get the first. He's got no diffuser, no hope. Can he just get the one on the low seat? No, unfortunately.
A very
Alright.
depressive end to the round there, Reback.
I'm sad. I'm a Mats fan.
Caster bias, what do you know?
I didn't say I'm not everyone else's fan.
Well, you are signed to Jaeger's Academy.
What does that mean?
That's like, I don't know. That's like Gareth Southgate being signed to England, but then commentating an England game, just being like, "Come on, lads, let's put these Finnish teams in the bin." Because Euros start tonight. That was a contextual joke.
Don't understand.
I just wanted to get a football reference in there. I wanted a football reference.
Alright, I
You
know
guys had
Chelsea
your
finished
ketchup
the top of
mustard.
champions. No,
That is
alright,
a great
look.
out of context quote for you, Kenny. For the next compilation. You guys have your ketchup mustard. Did you like some of your include?
Yeah.
As well?
What was it? Like kicking a dead cat. Damn you, King Arthur the Third. I actually have no clue what that was
Do
a
you not?
reference
Yeah,
to.
that's the interesting part. I don't know if people actually remember what they were from. I do very clearly, but I will never tell.
My favorite. I think my favorite one was. Oh, such a nice toss. So many nice tosses.
That's
No,
one for
I-
two doors. If he's here, to remember. That was my only ever cast with 2 doors.
Oh, what a shame.
We had some
My,
good
my
fun.
personal favorite just had to be licking batteries because again the fact that Eldebreen said that makes me think it is stemming from a personal experience of his, and the fact that he followed it up with "you can't stop licking." I'm like, okay, but all right. Never mind. In this case, Svedu, this man cannot stop running out and getting kills. As a matter of fact, he gets the first, takes down Creeds, and that certainly is good. Already, it looks like the members of Machine Soldiers Academy, they are trying to find their footing in this round. However, Kjell's disciples, they're just denying them and preemptively shutting down any and all executions. You can see that Closet is being open. However, he tried to deny that, just missed his shot. Unfortunately, nothing but net, as it didn't hit any of the metal bars. And I guess that's a football reference, right? Kenny, nothing but net.
Yeah, nothing
that's
but
football.
net. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dutch finds the back of the net as TGS falls and is eliminated from the round. Confusing impact trick from TGS when he could have just thrown it through the hole that was already open in impact trick at Skaros, but what do I know? It's MSC in the 4 versus 4 with Svebo down below looking to cause a nuisance. And obviously, he has the angles created here up onto the breach. There is a player that drops outside a main door. It's fallen, and Svebo goes down.
What a door bang from Fallen. He shoots, he scores, and down goes the Jaeger. 1 minute remaining, and the difference this time for Machine Soldiers, not just the man advantage that they had in that 5 versus 2 prior when they attempted it, they've got the breach open, which means no Bobby Boy is going to be sitting inside of games nice and comfortable. This Capital really coming into use here, setting fire, smoking all the angles off. Defenders cannot get across. It's only a C4 toss that can give them a chance, but it's not going to connect. A lot of damage dealt to the Capital, but he survives. Mats doesn't. 3 versus 3 now in the post plant. Nicky stands strong alongside his teammate. 1 player remaining. It is the man who got the ace previous round, but form could not be replicated. Machine Soldiers take another round here, and very much needed and very much improved from their first attempt.
Holy gazongo, that was bad observing, I apologise.
No, it's all good. Unfortunately, it was a bit of bad showing from Kjell's disciples. On the map of Oregon, you've already lost 2 rounds. At best, it's going to be a 4-2 split, which is acceptable. However, they cannot lose any further. It's kind of like Liverpool and their losing streak on Anfield. You've lost so many of your home games. Lads, you finished 3rd in the Premier League, and that's all good. Personally, I was happy with that. As if you honestly, Kenny, if you want to talk about football, I am a die-hard Liverpool fan. I still remember, I believe in 2017 or 2018, I think it was the UEFA finals against Madrid. I stayed up late at night. I had everything ready,
Oh.
and then we got packed in 1-3. I swear to, I lost hope in the world. I lost faith in humanity that day.
This is
And
a
even bicycle kick, yeah.
this is the equivalent of an Irishman, a Scotsman, and an Englishman walk into a bar, except a Man U fan, a Man City fan, a Liverpool fan walk into a cast. Because Evac supports City, I support United, and you support Liverpool. Well, MSC and Kjell's 2-all, as you spoke about losing two. You ideally only want to be losing two Oregon defenses. I think the bans heavily weigh in the defensive favor as well. And we've seen no actual presence inside of Attic attempted. Gee whiz. No
Is that another
attempted
door ban?
attack inside of Attic. It's a one single hard breach for MSC coming out, and they like this one-dimensional attack through Master. And yes, it was another door bang.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got one the last round, and another one straight away through the very same door. Man count has been equalized by the WAMI. TGS taking a bit of damage, though, in return, as that breach caused him so much trouble last time is starting to be opened. Will he miss the throw this time? You imagine he's got it. Yes, he has. Some ex-Kairos denied, but it's not really enough. I imagine Nicky has enough remaining to get the angles open necessary. There is at very least a visual on the side. Yes, and now traversable for the attackers. Great position there. Also, you can see the use of the intel with their drones, not just finding the defenders' locations, but figuring out exactly where some of these magnets are, all the rest of the utility they have to deal with. And most importantly, Bobby Boy is off the board, the ace boy from earlier in the game.
The attackers right now, they're down a man. However, they've got good compensation for it. As like you mentioned, Ebak, yeah, Bobby Boy is now no more for the round. TGS also quite low on HP. As that is confirmation, TGS goes, and yet again, it is blow for blow. Both of these teams, they are trading lives, and I think this is the opportunity. This is the perfect opportunity for MSC to strike. They know that Swebu was really down all the way in green hall towards first floor. Now he's fallen back to side. I think they could have tried to execute, knowing that Ruby was the only person inside, but still they're taking their sweet little time. They have a minute on the clock, and they only have one person to go up against. With only one kill and only one canister, there is only one outcome of this round. And I think, yeah, MSC, they win their third on the board. And now, Kenny, I have to ask you, so at best for Kjell's disciples, it is going to be a 3-3 split. Is it enough heading into their attack that both the teams will be on equal footing?
I highly doubt it. I think that the proficiency that MSC have shown on their offense can only translate onto their defenses. A good Oregon attack usually means you have a good defense or an even better defense, because Oregon's one of those maps that it is fundamentally hard to attack at its core because of the amount of control you need, the amount of crosswires the defenders can still have established, and the fact that MSC know this and they're still winning the rounds despite the inherent disadvantage that the attack has. They know how to then exploit that on their own defenses. So I think if Kjell's want a chance of even sending it to overtime, they essentially need to win this round.
Trouble being spelled for Kjell's disciples at the moment. They need to bring this back to the 3-3. We've barely seen Machine Soldiers in the lead. I haven't since I've come in here. Just that one round that took them ahead earlier on to give them Chalet. So it's been quite a while coming, but they seem on top on the attack right now. Kjell's disciples. What do? You go back to the basement. The previous time they were successful, and it was very good for Machine Soldiers first time around, and then their second execute where they went for that north side wasn't great. Will they do a combination of both, or will they stick to the old strategy? Maybe even something completely new on top of that. Time will tell, as will some of the early round drone work. It seems they're going top down, making sure there's no roam, and they will soon find there isn't any.
Let's go and have a look at a bush. That'll be more interesting than what's happening. Ooh, tomatoes. Better than mustard.
God, no,
Yes!
get this off. I would much rather watch Valorant. No, God, no.
Use that in T2. There we go. Some action. Because Mats is on the wall. God damn it, observing. Mats is here. Oh no, he's gone.
Oh, we've got Sides, who's playing a very... Okay, he was playing an aggressive angle right here towards Big Stairs. And I think this is exactly what MSC were looking for. Because they don't have a Nomad on board right now, the only way they can secure their flanks is, of course, with the Claymores. And I don't see any Claymores. Oh, they don't have any Claymores on board as well. So Mats has brought out the breaching rounds, which is kind of interesting. The same goes for Creed as well. A lot of breaching rounds on board. But yeah, so they need to use up a lot of their time figuring out where the roamers were. But now that they have confirmation, everyone is in and around the objective, they can act accordingly. They've already gotten rid of TGS. The defenders, they are getting backed off right now because of this utility usage from MSC. And now they can capitalize on this scenario because they still have so much time on board and so much manpower on board as well. Oh, not anymore. It's a 3v3.
Well, previously we saw them in the 5 versus 4 win it out via trades, but they get 2 and 3 struck back by their opposition. Very tough situation for Nikki and Mats. They've got to conserve their efforts, bring themselves together, but no, they push individually. Mats taken out, and now it's just down to Nikki, stuck inside of Freezer. 1 versus 3. 45 seconds, certainly possible. And he's going to give it a good go. Takes down Svebu. He won't know that, unfortunately. And I'm sure he's not quite aware of Bobby Boy's position either, tucked inside of the freezer. He's in a slightly more predictable angle now as the pings come across, but he's looking the wrong way. Missed the first few shots, but still has time, Bobby, to just correct ever so slightly. And Kjell's Disciples, they correct the score, bringing it back even. They could not afford to go 4-2 down on the attack, on the defensive side at the very least. Now that they are attacking, it's even. They just need to bring a positive result, and they will take the game today.
That was a fantastic recovery from Kjell's that could keep them in the matchup. I can't really fault MSC's early and mid rounds. They executed what they needed to do in terms of utility wise to perfection. The only thing that I would like to have seen improved was removing that bulletproof camera. I have to say the MVP of that round was the bulletproof camera. It stayed up and it gave full intel the entire time inside of Freezer. There's a Gon 6 on the Yana that she could have used before they went to burn the nade. She could have even destroyed the Banshee with the Gon 6 before they went to nade the lockers. I think just slight better utility usage there from MSE, and that's their round. But I have to give credit to Kjell's that they managed to bring the 3v5 back in their favor. They took the peaks that they needed to, and they profited. So
I think Machine Soldiers just suffered from being a bit too
overzealous.
No, they just had one main idea and didn't really like to divert from it. They didn't have the steno factor, which is, I always think of Steno when I think of the bottom floor of Oregon, because a defense or attack, he always notes the area that's not being pushed and then does something with it. It's always his part of play. That is an interesting way of reinforcing E-Box. Nice. We'll see how that comes to use, I suppose, throughout the rest of this. It does mean that rotate across the pillars is going to be a bit difficult for whoever's in that position. We'll wait to see. Maybe they're not prioritizing it. Maybe they're expecting a specific kind of push from Kjells that might not require that sort of area. And right now, it does seem that they are actually pushing towards the opposite side right now, kind of ignoring the north, if that is correct. Lots of intel there.
Lots of droning. Let's go and have a look at another bush.
Give me a headache, Kenny.
What bush
Actually,
looks
to be fair,
interesting?
one of the teams who've impressed me most on Oregon split takes is Skittle.jpg earlier this season. against Jaegers. It was incredible.
What's that van doing there? It's not very good parking.
Kenny, I'm trying to compliment you.
Yeah, I noticed. Thank you.
Compliment.
Thank you. I don't take compliments. They're great, but I don't have an ego, so it doesn't really affect me. I just.
That's the real difference between you and Steno.
Well, moving back onto the round, CCV.
Now we've got a lot of information devices. You know, you've got Zero and his spy cams. You've got the yokai drones, the evil eyes, not to mention the regular drones as well. There's a lot of information that can be gathered by the attackers and the defenders. My question is, how quickly can they act on it? And where exactly will they act on it? Right now, exactly, like Ivaki, you know, like you were saying, it looks like Pillars has not completely been overrun by the attackers just yet. You have Ash towards Pillars and, well, no longer. All of the attacking side is now formed towards Laundry Stairs and towards Freezer. There is only, you know, a double-sided push. You're going to come in from the southwestern side. No one is pushing from Pillars, no one is pushing from Bunkum. So that area incoherently can be completely ignored by the defenders, and they know where to focus on, they know where not to give their kills. Unfortunately, that is easier said than done. Two of the anchors on the side of Machine Soldiers have already dropped, and there goes the third. It is now down to Fallen and Creed to try and redeem this round, all down to Fallen. He got one kill, has overhealed himself. It's a 1v3, has a lot of bullets, has a lot of kills, but now he is up against Ruby and Sides with the time pressure being on him.
Well, he could deny the plant here, but he's going to be slightly too late. Both of the attackers line up. He does down Ruby. Oh. Fallen is on for the ace. He's up against Sides here. No, well, there is intel to be had. You see the yellow pings coming out and the red pings coming out from either a Valkyrie camp or that bulletproof camp. And he gets the ace! Oh. Fallen with the 5 kills on the round. The 1 versus 4 post plant. And it puts MSC in the lead. What a clutch!
Wow, fantastic bit of play there from Fallen. If you can do it, I can do it too. First defensive round for both teams has brought an ace. And whether it's Fallen or, what was his name again?
Bobby
Boy. Fantastic. And good use of the dock. I've been seeing great dock play today across the board. So that's really
would you
nice
call
to
it
see, giving a
good docking?
Giving a real warning to Thunderbird. I almost swapped the letters, and that's not a word you want to say. Thunderbird.
You don't want to say
turd, obviously. Come on.
Oh my god, Nikki. You're spoiling us.
He's ruined it.
This is a heavy util lineup here from MSC. They've got the Goyo with the 2 shields, obviously the Frost shield. And Tachanka's buff has kind of gone under the radar. I think it was overshadowed by the Jaeger nerf. Obviously, people up in arms about the Jaeger nerf, but Tachanka's buff is actually ridiculously good.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the few changes that will make it worthwhile as a clash switch. Like, I'm not too insulted with the Tachanka. He's pretty solid. Opt in for the barbed wire instead of the alarm as well. I'm not 100% sure if everyone can hear me. I'm seeing comments. I've just looked back saying that I'm very quiet. I don't know if that's true.
Let me turn you up.
Let me know, chat. I'll see that in a few minutes.
I have turned you up on my end.
Okay. That's usually a terrible mistake, evac-wise, but we'll see.
My ears are about to hurt. Anyway, moving into the round, it is going to be an attic side initial push from Kjell. So taking control of T2 and T3 is something that MSC didn't do whatsoever, and they've got the hard breach charge on Ruby to be able to open up that wall. Almost the flick from Sice, but Creed was just quicker to the trigger there, and the opening kill goes in favor of MSC.
Alright, A good start. They have the lead as well right now. All thanks to Fallen, all thanks to the mute right now. Just shutting up, any and all possibilities of Kjell's winning the previous round. But right now, it's a new round, it's a new day. Kenny will surely try to find a new plant or a new herb to show on stream. As right now, again, yeah, MSC, this is a priority of theirs that can always be spotted. They love to destroy any and all forms of inflammation on the side of the attackers. This is exactly what we saw on Villa. This is what we were seeing on Chalet as well, and the same thing applies to Oregon. In the meanwhile, attic control has been taken. Kenny, I know you were highlighting this previously during the defense of Kjell's, that attic was often overlooked by both of the teams, and more focus was granted towards closet and opening that. But right now, it is all even Stevens. Both of those places have been breached. The attackers can make their way into the bomb site fairly quickly. They have a lot of time to play with as well, and they have excess of manpower. This is certainly shaping up to be another MSC round, unless some hero plays happen.
It's going to be up to Ruby and Bobby. Well, Bobby no more. Up to only Ruby inside of T2 is going to have a battle here with Mats. And Mats with a close range engagement on the Vector 45 comes out on top, and a flawless second defense for MSC. You've got to give it to them. That was... They didn't give any ground to Kjell's. The second Kjell's opened up the Master Breach, there were frags just from the defenders. And you can't really fault a round that ends flawlessly.
Yeah, but they've got to start poking holes in machine soldiers somehow, Kjells, because 2 rounds already lost on their attacking side. They need to win out at least 3 to take it all the way. This is the final map of this best of 3. Machine Soldiers, they're 1 round away from match point. Very, very close. Fallen, he's been baiting out that Cav play. So many strats. I've seen them play Cav in the past to mixed effect. Picking off to the Melusi, just to scare that opposition.
Yeah, and the interesting thing for the offense, in my eyes, Kjell's, their only hard breacher is a thermite, and typically for a dining defense, you see the showers wall, be impact tricked, and when you only have a thermite on the board, you only have 2 exothermics. They are very easily impact trickable. So essentially, even with the hard breach charge on Ruby on the 0, you can effectively only open up the site wall or the showers wall. You can't do both because of the impact trick, and there are 4 impacts on the side of MSC, so I assume that will be their game plan inside of showers.
Depends what we've got on the attack wise, because a lot of teams in ECS have prioritized slightly different things. A lot of the times, yeah, we've seen quite a bit of that this season, as well as maybe just sending 1 or 2 players, using that thermite trick to get an angle open to the top of West as well, and then just mostly leaving it and then coming through the corridors at some point later. It does seem that's what we've got from Kjell's as well, as they are opting to come all the way across from this east side as well as the north and clear out the entire map, which does play into the Thermite's hands for a nice quick cheeky plant inside of Kitchen.
Meanwhile, for the side of Machine Soldiers Academy, again, keeping their fort down. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. If you look at the western side of the map, no movement, no footfall whatsoever towards Small Tower, nothing towards showers as well. The attackers right now, they are more focused on getting the vertical control above the bomb site and essentially getting meeting control as well, after which they'll try to execute. And already, looks like they've gotten off to a good start. Siebu, he's there in Zulu. I believe he caught the Jaeger off guard. The hatch is now going to be open. Impact trick was there, but a little too late on the trigger, as we see Machine Soldiers having a lot of angles set up. We are seeing a lot go through vertically as well, but this play from the Ash can certainly turn things in favor of the attackers. It does. The man advantage, it is in favor of Kjell's disciples. It is in favor of Kjell's disciples, and they are looking quite favorable.
Bobby Boy with the flank up Armory Stairs, and with a flurry of kills, we essentially see Dutch left in a 1 versus 2. The flank up the White Stairs is expected by TGS. Those 0 cams I noticed being very pivotal for the information game in that round for the side of Kjell's Disciples. And a successful attack onto the tertiary site is all good and well because it stops MSC moving on to match point. But to stay in the game, they have to win an attack onto either Laundry or the Dorms bomb site, which they have yet to do.
Yeah, that's not a great thing you're looking at. At the end of the day, that is the bulk of Oregon, is the main sites of Oregon. You got to win there. And so far, they haven't really managed. Been struggling somewhat. It did come close, that being said, but it was a kind of a rescue effort from, I believe, Sides as the last man, and then it was a rescue effort again, straight back at him to get the ace from Fallen. So, you know, clutch ability, very important at this point in the game. I'm pretty sure that every single player, all of the 10 players here can pull out a fantastic moment, a clutch. I've seen it from the majority of them so far, and I didn't catch it on Villa, who was pulling out the stops, but I imagine it's been pretty spread.
Yeah, thinking back to Villa, actually, I think Svebo ended up on 15 kills, something around that total. It was a fantastic showing from himself. And Kjell's managed to best out 7-5. If you are joining us for this Decider map, we saw Kjell's take the first map 7-5 on Villa. MSC winning out Chalet in a hotly contested 8-7 victory for themselves. And we're now on Oregon, still with only 1 round separating the two teams, albeit MSC on the defense now. And as I forget, I'm actually observing. Kjell's need to get this successful attack, and I think an adaptation they've made is switching onto Yana. Bringing nades makes attacking the basement a lot easier, and something that was lacking in their last offense was the nades. And Fallen, he's the top fragger off the board early, and another kill for Kjell's. His size has gone absolutely huge in the start of this round. That is Febo I'm looking at. Wow, I can't do 2 things at once. Ebac, take it away.
Great use of intel and getting some nice early kills, and they're finishing just man after man. Nikki and Creed's the only 2 remaining on the defense. Creed steps up a bit and takes down the first man, finds the second as well as his teammate is dropped. He has to get the ace or nothing, and he's shut down in the end. Kjells take the round, bring it back even. It's bleh. I can't do one thing.
No, fair. Yeah, I think that's everyone's reaction after seeing the previous 2 rounds unfold, because Kjell's Disciples, they've just caught everyone off guard, especially their opponents. You know, machine soldiers, they aren't really sure how to retaliate back. They aren't really sure what to do to essentially win rounds, because they've been on the brink of match point, series point for oh so long, but they just cannot cross the finishing line just yet. In the meanwhile, we are going to go back to Kids and Doms. Nikki is going to be playing the chunker yet again. Nice to know. As in this case, Kjell's will be opting for the flank watch. Bobby Boy switches from the Twitch towards the Nomad. So looking at the lineups right now, fairly standard. Yet again, you know, we have a boatload of utility on the side of the defenders to deal with. You know, you've got the Chunka with the Shumika launchers, you've got the Vulcan shields of Goyo, not to mention the Frost mats and the regular shield. And then in terms of, you know, denial, you've got you've got the ADSs, and then of course the mute jammers are present as well. On the side of the attackers, they have a lot to deal with all of this. You know, you have the breaching round of Svebu, which again, I haven't seen a lot of the breaching rounds in action, to be honest. Ruby and Svebu, both of them have been bringing it out. But this isn't Villa, this isn't Cafe Dostoevsky, where we really get to see them. Vertical play is at a minimal right now. The previous round would have been a better example, as you know, you could have opened up the kitchen, the kitchen floor. However, at the moment, yeah, it's very, very minimal usage, not really favorable. So, with all of that being said and done, utility usage is at an all-time high for both of these teams. It is now going to come down to the kills. It is now going to come down to the heroic plays, and already, I think Bobby Boy knows that Jaeger is holding the top freezer angle. The yellow pings can come through at any moment. Svebu, he knows about the crosshair placement really good. The Jaeger has shot. The Jaeger flees the scene of the crime as his hunter tries to catch him, goes for the fire, but the Jaeger is too quick even after his 2-speed nerf.
Wow. I mean, the aim of the game for Machine Soldiers with this lineup is delay. Slow down Kjells, who have been lightning quick the last couple of rounds. And given the way that they're grouped up right now with this very monolithic focus, could be a real horrible thing to come up against for Machine Soldiers. A risky placement of that breaching round, expecting the vertical angle rather than maybe just using the projectile one that Ash has. Oh, but a lovely shot up from underneath with the ARX. It's Bobby Boy getting the better of Dutch early on. Thankfully, his utility is down already, not as impactful as a pick as it could be onto the likes of Nikki, but it's still great for Kjell's Disciples. They give that slight refrag advantage despite the low health.
Kjells have taken a lot of map control and a lot of ground very, very quickly. They just have to be wary about their flank. Matt's inside of Zulu could be the difference maker inside this round, and he may have to make something work very quickly as Svevo picks up a frag onto the bomb site, and very fortunate timing from Mats. The second side stops holding the angle. Siege timing in a nutshell, and Siege in a nutshell. The Pog Mat reigns supreme. TGS goes down, Creeds as well. Mats for a third, and it's all on Fallen. The man has a 2 KD so far. He's going to have to add even further to that. Put to 1 HP, and he's got the whole world coming for his throat with 40 seconds left. He's going to silently drop the hatch, maybe be able to deny the plant with the C4, but there's no rotating security to do so. He's going to C4 beneath Hobo, and Svebo down the white stairs. Kjells with 3 successive attacks on Oregon, and that puts them onto match point, series point, when it all looks so dire.
From the attacking side, and almost not quite attacker favored Oregon coming out yet. We've still got that one round to equalize for Machine Soldiers, bring it to 3-3 on either half, but it is so close. Again, we find ourselves in this situation where Machine Soldiers, they have a series point against them. They have to take it to overtime. They've done it in the past, but that was from a weakened position and they rose up. This time they were very close and then they've thrown it away. Very unfortunate for them if they do lose it out. They're making sure that's not an option. They're taking it down to laundry and supply, where first time around, great. Second time around, heroics of Fallen. But either way, it's been pretty convincing from them on this particular defensive site. Kjells they cracked it last time with a very quick move. I'm not sure Machine Soldiers are for that again, so it might be a whole new egg to crack for Kjells.
All right, we move on to arguably the most influential round in this best of 3. Machine Soldiers really close to inching another overtime where they can possibly inch another win, just like what happened on Chalet. But at the same time, Kjell's Disciples, they could do what happened on Villa, a 7-5 victory. This round, unless we go to a round 14 or 15, this round is going to decide the fate of these teams in the entire tournament. Over a month's worth of work, in the group stages, not dropping a single. Both of these teams, they only had a single loss each. Apart from that, victories all around, but they have to suffer another defeat, and this will be the biggest they'll be suffering. Now, who will it be? Is it going to be Machine Soldiers Academy, or will it be Kjell's Disciples? Well, the next 2 minutes and 25 seconds, that's exactly what is in store for us. The attackers already, yet again, gaining the map control. The top-down presence is there. In this case, we can see that Kjell's are far more, looking towards and prioritizing the side of bunker and blue stairs as the drones are going through. But you have Fallen playing the dock yet again. TGS, he's holding the crossfire towards the pillars. However, Fallen is the smarter one, and he's not going to be peeking that, not just yet, at a moment's notice.
Bobby Boy's going to start opening up the E-box hatch. That's going to apply pressure onto these players inside of Pillar mainly, and inside of Supply as well. Fallen, he has the heavy task here. He's going to be stunned away from Pillar, and a frag grenade follows shortly after. Takes away his shield, but not his life. And he's still able to persist in this position as the nade obviously not finishing him off. He's going to light up Svebo, not eliminate him, so that's huge. The yellow pings come out from a Yoko drone, narrowly missing the shots on TGS as well. This is a fantastic hold so far from Fallen, and Kjells just don't have the answer to getting him out of this position.
Well, all it takes is one bullet, and that's the huge difference. And currently, that's the difference between Svebo and Death right now. Very low health, and there goes Fallen. He's trying to escape, rotate around, and they're already pushing into sight. Thankfully, the Older is there to save the day. Nicky gets one, traded straight back. 3 versus 3 now. 50 seconds on the clock. The attackers still have time. There's no need to rush, but there are lots of angles available. And there's one player down inside of Bunk. There's no time to reinforce, though. There's so much pressure onto Nicky. Thankfully, he did get that one kill, and the smoke with the low health against these 2 remaining attackers is fantastic. They're pushing into a triple crossfire, though. That wall unreinforced across from the smoke. But Dutch is there to pick up the kill, and Size finds one in response. It's a triple from him, 2 versus 1. Machine Soldier's so close to taking it to overtime. If Size can take this, it's a tough position to do. He can't! It's taken by Dutch. Machine Soldiers, they do it again. They bring us all the way to overtime. Kjell's on the defense. Machine Soldiers now on the attack.
Yeah. Wow. What an...
Oh.
Just what a round. Both teams going tooth and nail. My trademark. Both teams going tooth and nail at each other, and I mean, Fallen, Dutch, Bobby, Svebo putting up good numbers, but the support from the others, yes, there are low kills, but I'm a huge advocator of kills mean nothing inside of Siege, of course.
Advocator.
Of course, they're important, but there are impact frags and impactless frags, and there's so much more to Siege than just the kills on the scoreboard. Hot droning from supports, opening breaches, holding angles, getting those bombs down, just allowing your fraggers to do their job, and both teams, I think, are doing that to the best of their ability, and that's why we find ourselves in overtime on the decider map, because there's very little to separate them.
Well, we spoke about that defender advantage that Kjells might have in overtime before this, but there hasn't been an advantage. It's basically just been even the whole way through. So, CCV, what are you thinking for overtime here?
I don't know. What I do know is, Ebac, when you joined us for the broadcast back then, you said you didn't know anything right now. So back then I had to explain to you what Rainbow Six was, 5v5 defender versus attacker. I just like in this class that, Kenny and I have been conducting, we have now reached the intermediate level where Kenny is now explaining some of the more advanced strategies with hot droning. So I'm sure all of the beginners are learning right now far more valuable than any of the Siege tutorials you can watch on YouTube.
I'll give you a good lesson, guys. Play Clash, you win, is how it works. It worked for the first 4 play days this season in Major Division. Anywho. And Contenders, I believe.
Or because nothing's going to happen as everyone's on the bomb site for the first minute and a half. Let's go and have a look at the Digger.
Well, we haven't seen any Clash so far. That's one of the big weaknesses of all of these defenses so far. Clash would be really suitable for some of the ways that these teams have been attacking. Should be great as a counter, but not opted for. Again, Kjell's Disciples going for a triple projectile denial lineup, and then a lot of delay with that Melusi and Smoke, providing that clutch ability late on. Machine Soldiers, they're going to try and push themselves. They've been very good at getting in quickly, taking kills, but when it comes to the execute on this site, they're just pushing one player Laundry, one player Freezer, and then just dying individually. That's not what they need. They need a bit of a more concerted team effort from this point.
All right. Well, we've got the 13th round on board, and arguably, yeah, yet again, nothing major has taken place. The attackers are still right there in terms of map control, but eBack, I carry the sentiments with you. How exactly is the execute going to come through? Fallen already down but not out. He will be revived by Nikki just yet. And yeah, everyone is still standing quite strong on their own 2 feet. Everyone is ready to execute. There is plenty of time on board. How exactly are Machine Soldiers Academy going to utilize the time? That's the main thing. They've got people rotating over towards pillars as well. However, with again, look at it, the attack is a bit disconnected, but this is surely going to help them. Mats finds one. There's the follow through. Only 2 people surviving. Make that only 1, as Bobby Boy is the final person. No longer he lives. The hero play was there from Mats. He pushed in from, I believe that was Blue Stairs and Big Tower Stairs, and that's how he ended up getting those 2 kills, disrupting the flow of the defenders, and hence winning the round for Machine Soldiers.
A surge. That's exactly what they needed. They've just been a little bit textbook so far, which is fine. They've done the job perfectly, but both teams still even having that little bit of an edge. Winning out the laundry attack means that they have 2 attempts. They have an attempt for a laundry defense, which they've been pretty solid at consistently, and then they have 1 free one after that for whatever Kjell's offer up, if that is the case. But Machine Soldiers, they were a map down. They had series point against them. They brought it all the way through maximum overtime on map 2, and now they brought it all the way to the very end of overtime here, almost on Oregon. Can they actually come back and win this thing? It would be a very good story for them, especially given their previous game against Proximity, which was just as tight.
Yeah, and that's what we expect inside of the ECS playoffs. Every single game going down to the wire. Over the past few seasons, ECS has become so competitive, and I can't fault the teams that compete inside of the league. This is where I started my my playing / coaching career, and these guys are really showing a lot of promise, and it's fantastic to see. I've missed the casting / observing / everything.
We've missed
side.
you, Kenny.
I honestly I've missed.
You've just been an observer this season.
I know. I haven't. My voice has been too down south from shouting at people while coaching.
I imagine
2
so.
out of 3.
So blasting on in. We've got Kjells. They've got to make a nice quick entry. They've done well when they've been fast on this attack so far. The slower they've been, the less successful. I think that's true for both teams so far on this bottom floor site.
I'd say so. Already, we are seeing a lot of action take place. Yeah, we are quite early in to the action phase as well, but the attackers are wasting not a second of their time. Yet again, it's going to be that same tower and bunker push, no attention being given to, laundry stairs and freezer as well. So the defenders can prepare accordingly. Already you have Fallen holding this angle towards pillars. Only now the attackers rotating, opening electrical hatch. Again, ever so important. Very, very standard procedure. It more or less comes down to where exactly is the final execute going to come in, and how successful will it be in terms of opening kills. Because so far, half of the action phase has unfolded, and no one has died, no one has traded any HP. It is all very, very calm, and that is obviously going to favor the defenders because they can simply waste out the time. Right now, we are seeing a lot of utility being displayed and being dispatched towards pillars, but Fallen is still present, standing tall, standing strong.
His toes are going to be shot away, however, from the T1 stairs, and this is an adaptation I like. So Verbo's made his way down to the bottom of Laundry Stairs, so there's an extra point of attack, and he is going to dually meet with Creeds ever so soon, but Creeds just manages to back away from the angle. But MSE, they're going to be wary on their defense because they have to worry about that player at the bottom of Laundry Stairs. If he keeps the pressure up, the pressure stands tall.
Oh, they get another kill. One's back from the attacking side, but it's only one standing now. Bobby Boy, the guy who started off with an ace at the very beginning of Oregon, now all in his hands. Or Kjell's disciples, shock horror, are immediately out of the playoffs much earlier than they would have liked. For players to find 20 seconds, no diffuser. He has to push on through and find everybody, but no, he's just found himself. Creeds uses the 416 to perfect effect, locates the Hibana, and there we go. Machine Soldiers take the win today. Overtime twice. Hard-fought victory. Could have put it any better myself, Siege.
Siege?
Siege.
What?
I think Ebak is remembering the name of the game that we are playing. Yeah, Siege.
I said I couldn't have put it any better myself, Siege, because Siege said the words. What's confusing?
But all right. So yeah, this was some interesting siege that we just witnessed, you know. And again, the best of 3, it went the entire 9 yards. It went the entire distance, and I couldn't be glad about this. If this is how, you know, the initial few games of the playoffs are taking place, one can only imagine what must happen what will start happening once we start entering the quarter, semi, and of course the grand finals as well. So really good performance from the side of Kjell's disciples. Unfortunately, again, looking at the game so far, you know, it just was action-packed entirely. Through thick and thin, Machine Soldiers Academy, they survived it all. They were at a desperate time during the map of Chalet. Once they were down, I believe it was 6-4. But since then, they came back, and the comeback story, man oh man, is it going to be told for generations?
Generations, the comeback story. Wow, that was some scintillating words there.
We'll have to wait and see if it goes down in the eons, you know. For centuries, people will be telling the tale of Machine Soldiers. Well, they might be if they take it all the way from contenders upwards. But that is it for our open teams. All done. Historically, they are so strong at getting to finals. You'd both be very aware. You've been in the last couple of seasons. We always see open contest a long way through. This time, not quite the case, but definitely contested.
Yeah, certainly so. I was just trying to... There we go. We've got E back on stream.
What?
You'll see in 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm watching. I've got the stream up on the left, but I gotta wait.
So obviously, I've only had the production for 2 face cams. So Ebac has very nicely joined us up there.
Okay.
Wait, which side are you? How you doing up there, Ebac?
I'm on. How are you too?
Well, we've just seen a fantastic display of talent inside of the ECS playoffs.
Ah, nice.
I'm sure you're glad that MSC came out on top. This is our post-game interview. It's almost like...
Is it?
You were part of the game.
Oh no, what's going on? I'm so confused.
It'll take you a while to get over.
I have no idea what's happening right now. But all right, yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm just waiting for the stream to happen. But in the meanwhile, it was certainly a good performance from Machine Soldiers Academy. I really am excited to see their next endeavor against, I believe it's going to be Team Manic.
Yes.
And yeah, that's also going to be certainly a game worth watching.
Yep, and don't forget tomorrow as well, we have Game E, which is the opposite one. I will be there with Elder Brain, and that is Lions Creed up against Humble Academy, which should be just as contested, despite the fact Majors, obviously, Lions Creed have that advantage. Reigning champions, they have the advantage. They're also just Lions Creed, so you debate that as well. But that being said, Humble, top of contenders, better than these two statistically, and these two are absolutely fantastic. Lions Creed, who are somewhat maybe down on their luck. They're not quite at their usual levels as of yet. They've got to kind of warm up their way through these playoffs. And if they're stopped nice and early, I mean, it's a good opportunity for that to happen for Humble. So make sure you're around tomorrow for that.
Yes, so that is it for us this evening. I'd just like to obviously thank Jerry, who does everything behind the scenes. He got me up to speed and being able to produce this game for this evening. CCV obviously hopping in with me, and eventually EBAC himself, the wonderful man, the man who has carried the ECS season alongside Yannick in people's absence, such as mine. I have been. My efforts have been placed elsewhere, but I'm glad to have been back. I actually really enjoyed this evening, so thank you for you two being alongside me. And I'd like to thank everyone who tuned in this evening, and congratulations to MSE who move on to that aforementioned game against Team Manic. And any closing words from either of you, because I am all out of words. I am shattered.
I can see myself now. I love it. It's almost as good as my drawing of you.
Don't worry, EBAC. EBAC gets an upgrade.
Does he?
So
Okay.
just wait for that.
Nice. Cool.
But yeah, have a nice evening, everyone, and make sure you do tune in again to ECS whenever we are back tomorrow. You said EBAC? Tomorrow, lovely stuff. So have a nice rest of your Friday night, everyone, and we will see you back for the game tomorrow.